Welcome to the, my name is Tyzen. Welcome to the cryptocurrency.market channel. If you can hear me, guys, can you leave a comment and say that you can hear me? This is the first time I'm live streaming on a cell phone, so I'm still trying to figure out how to use it. If you can hear me clearly, please leave a comment and say that you can hear me. Okay? Don't say hello, don't say nothing, just say I can hear you or I cannot hear you. Okay? All right. So, okay, because I don't have a lot of time, guys. I'm running to the Zen Palace construction site, and I wanted to answer some questions that everybody's been asking me. Okay? So, the Tyfu 30 cryptocurrency market index has just broke above the 2,000 point. You can see this index on our website at cryptocurrency.market. Okay, cryptocurrency.market. And you can see, use the first index that's on the list. It's the Tyfu 30 cryptocurrency market index, the 80-20. There's also the 70-30, and there's a 60-40. The 80-20 is for the people that have not retired yet. The 70-30 is for the people that have retired, and the 60-40 is for the people like our team who have retired and we've made enough money to live for the rest of our life, and we're just making money for our kids now. Okay, so if you haven't retired yet, then use the Tyfu 30 cryptocurrency market index. That's 80-20. That means that 80% of our capital is at work and 20% is used to rebalance the portfolio every quarter. All right. So right now the Tyfu index is above 2,000 points and Bitcoin is near 100,000. And the thing that we need to do right now is that on our team, we are starting to take 1 to 2% profits. Okay. And the reason why I'm saying this now is that you got all these people online that, you know, in the bear market, they don't tell people to buy. They don't say when they're buying. And in the bear market, we told everyone that in the third and fourth quarter of 2022, we told everyone that we were going to start buying in January of 2023. And we've been buying since all of 2023. And then we stopped after 2023 while the market was going up, because if we draw the trend channel on the Tyfu index, in the bottom 1/3 in green, that's when we buy. When it goes into the middle 1/3 in gray, that's when we stop buying. And then when it's in the top 1/3 in red, that's when we look for signals to sell. When it breaks above that top 1/3 in red, then we start selling small chunks of profits. What is considered small chunks of profit? For us, small chunks of profit is 1 to 2% of the entire portfolio. So if I have a $100,000 portfolio right now, I would sell $1,000 to $2,000 of my crypto and take it into profits. And that 1 to 2% is, we do that for several reasons. Okay, number one, the way that the human brain works, you cannot just go from doing nothing. Okay, you cannot go from just doing nothing and all of a sudden start taking big chunks of profit, like 20, 30, 40, 50% of your portfolio. That's not very realistic, guys. This channel is a real world trading and investing channel where we talk about how we grew a portfolio to a, 6, 7, 8, 9-figure portfolio. So we don't screw around and tell you stupid shit that we don't do. We tell you how we really do it and how we got to a 7, 8, 9-figure portfolio. So the way that it works is that most people grow up with a poor and poverty mindset. So when it's time to take big chunks of profits, you get emotionally scared, and you get greedy and you listen to the wrong people. People start listening, they'll follow our channel and listen to us and buy in 2023. They'll make life-changing profits, and then when it's time to take profits, they'll go listen to the taxi driver or the Uber driver or some dumbass in their family or a dumbass friend who has never made millions of dollars before. and has never taken profits before and does not know how scary it is or how challenging or how difficult it is, right? So in the Tyfu investing system that we teach our students to start taking profits when the right sell signals are there, right? I don't have time to go over all the sell signals that we teach, right? But there's enough sell signals right now in the market to where we start taking small chunks of profits. That's the first stage that we start taking profits, 1 to 2%. Later on, when the market goes up even higher, we'll start taking bigger chunks of profit, like 5, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% of the portfolio. But for now, we have to start small first. Before you can do something big, you have to do something small first to get the practice in. So if you have a $100,000 portfolio, then I would start taking 1 to 2% profits each week. And then if I have like a $1 million portfolio, I would take 1 to 2%. So that would be like $10,000 to $20,000 a week. Now, when you guys hear these numbers, the first thing that's going to happen is that it sounds big, it sounds scary, and it sounds like you're going to miss an opportunity. Okay? It sounds like, oh, I'm going to miss an opportunity, Ty. If I sell right now, what happens if the market goes up even higher? And that 1 to 2% solves several problems. One, it mentally prepares you to start taking profits, so you start practicing, right? Because we've been buying since January of 2023. We stopped buying at the end of 2023. We haven't done any buying in 2024. So if you have not made a transaction all year long in 2024, and now all of a sudden you have to take like a 40 or 50 or % profit out of your portfolio, that is almost impossible to do. Okay, we don't know anybody that has the mental strength to just jump in, and this is the first time they take profits and they have $1 million in their portfolio and they just come in and just take out $500,000. That is not realistic at all. Okay, any dumbass online that tells you that's realistic, they're just full of shit. They've never taken big chunks of profit or made big chunks of life-changing profits before, so they don't know how to take profits correctly. The way that you take big chunks of profit is you start off small as the market's going up, right? And you take out a little bit at a time. And then mentally, you will get some practice in, and you will no longer get scared. And when the market gives you the right signals, and it's time for you to take out like 100,000, 200, $500,000 or $1 million profit, then you are mentally able to do it, right? So whether you believe us or you don't believe us, I would encourage you to do it anyway, right? 1 to 2% every week from now on, as the market's going up. Now, let's say that Bitcoin hits 100,000, 101, 105, 110,000, 120,000. We will continue selling 1 to 2% every week. And then when the market starts pulling back, that's when we'll temporarily stop. And then when the market goes back up again, then we'll start selling that 1 to 2% every week again. And if you do the math, if you have to sell 1 to 2% every week, let's just say you sell the upper limit of 2%, and you have a $100,000 portfolio. That's $2,000 for the first week, $2,000 next week, $2,000, $2,000, right? So in 1 month, you're selling $8,000 or 8% of your portfolio. You still have 92% of your portfolio left. And I know that some of you guys are going to make the mistake like I did and the rest of our team did when the first time we took profits. We said, oh, we're not going to start taking profits because the market's going up, right? Because what if we take profits and then the market goes up higher and we miss out on it? So the fear of missing out, or FOMO, is high. That's the reason why you got to start practicing with small chunks of profits first. And then what happens is you will start to see that, oh, I took out 2%, or I took out 4%, or I took out 6%, or I took out 8%. And it's not really a big deal, because if the market goes up like you think, if the market goes up, continues to go up like you think, that 8% does not matter. So I'm going to do the math so you guys understand what I'm talking about. So let's say if I have a $100,000 portfolio right now, and it's it's November, right? And I take out 2%, let's say every week until the end of the year of 2024. So that's about 5 weeks left. Let's just say 6 weeks, just so the math is easy, right? 5 weeks, so the math is easy. So if I took out 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000 each week, that's $10,000 by the end of the year. At the end of the year, I still have $90,000. Now, if my FOMO, or my fear of missing out, is true, if it was true and the market continues to go up after I start selling, then that $90,000, if it goes up some more, 10%, now it's back up to $99,000. So there's really never a chance for it to go back down, right? And what I mean is that $90,000, that $10,000 you took out and your portfolio now has $90,000, if it is true, like you said, that the market's going to continue going up because you're scared you're going to miss out on it, then if it goes up, then your portfolio is back up again. So as it goes up, you're going to take out some more. You're going to take out some more, 2%, okay? This, if you've never taken profits before, this is the method that we use to emotionally be able to do it. We have so many students that follow us, take our course and follow us, and then they don't take profits. And they keep telling themselves, oh, I'm a smart engineer, I'm a smart software developer, I'm a smart doctor, I'm a smart lawyer, so I'm going to wait for it to hit $1 million or something and then I'll take profits. That is not going to happen, guys. That's not realistic. You have to start taking small chunks of profits from the very beginning so that you guys can mentally develop the mental muscles to click the mouse and take a profit. Okay, so that's what I would suggest that someone who is beginning right now to start. Now, there are several things that people are going to say, and I'm going to answer each of these questions for you, each of the concerns, because our team had the same concerns. Okay, the first question that people often ask me is that, hey Ty, if I did like you said, and I reduced the total number of coins that I have down to 4 to 6 coins right now, because we're in the top 1/3 in red of the trend channel, which coins do I sell first? Okay, so let me say something clear. The last coin that we need to sell is Bitcoin. As the market's going up, we're gonna sell and take profits, right? As we sell that 1 to 2%, we have a few choices. We sell it, and if we are in a Western country that allows us to use US dollars, then we would sell it into USD and pay the taxes on it, okay? Or if we're in a country that does not have USD, like in Vietnam or Thailand, then we would sell it into USDT. Now, the third choice is to sell it and then convert it to Bitcoins, okay? So Bitcoin is the last coin that we're gonna sell. We're never gonna sell 100% of our Bitcoins. It's always gonna be like 20% left, okay? We never sell all of it, okay? In case the market goes up even higher. So the first coins that we sell on our team are the weakest coins. What is a weak coin? A weak coin is any coin that has not made a profit, any coin that has not kept up with the Tyfu index. So if the Tyfu index has gone up, 100% and in 2024, and your coin only goes up 50%, well then that's a weak coin, okay? If the Tyfu index goes up 2x and your coin only goes up 1x, well then that's a weak coin. So we sell the weakest coins first, okay? After we sell the weakest coins, then we sell the next weakest coin, the next one, and then we go from the bottom and then we sell all the way up. Now there are people that are inexperienced or don't know how to invest and how to take profits or how to consolidate their portfolio in a bull market. So when that happens, right, what they do is they will start to sell their Bitcoins first and convert it to altcoins and think, oh, the altcoin season. Come on. Okay. They will convert their Bitcoins into an altcoin. Okay. Let me go into my office here. Hả? Hi. Okay. Guys, just give me a second here. Let me get into my office so I can sit down and broadcast for you guys here. Okay. I'm at the Zen Palace construction site here. So, all right. Okay. So, sorry about that interruption, guys. Okay, so, where was I at? Where the hell was I at? Okay, so where was I at? Man, I'm turning 54 years old next month, guys, and oh yeah, okay, thanks. I was talking about profits into alts. Okay, so you got guys online that's telling you that they're going to convert they sell their Bitcoins first because they have the mentality that I'm going to convert my Bitcoins into altcoins, right? And to us, that's a mistake because we did that for a couple of cycles already in 2017 and in 2014 and 2017. And I can tell you this, that's a very bad idea, okay? The people that tell you that don't understand the concept of liquidity, okay? Whenever we're in a bear market and we're buying, guys, we have a long time frame. Let me sit back here because my hand is... Okay, we have a long time frame to buy, but when it's time to sell and take profits, right, we only have a small window, and you have to balance two things. One is that you're holding on to your profits, and it's like you're holding on to your profits, and you're waiting, and the minute the market gives you a chance, you sell it, right? And there's two ways that you can do it. You can either hold on to alts and wait for it to go up, but then there's no liquidity, okay? The guys that have like a $1,000 or $10,000 portfolio or even like a $100,000 portfolio, you might be able to get away with that, okay? But there's a lot of danger in that, okay? Because you may not have enough liquidity, especially if you have like a 7, 8, 9-figure portfolio. There's no freaking way there's enough liquidity in the markets to just unload that much. I know you guys see that on the trading volume, right? On Binance and all these exchanges where they say, oh, they trade $1 billion a day, whatever. All that does not matter. What matters is liquidity, okay? Trading volume and liquidity are two different things. Trading volume just tells you how much transaction. If they buy or sell $1 million a day, right? If I do a transaction with $1 million, right? They count that as $1 million in transaction. If I do like 10 of those trades a day, right? That they count that as 10 million in trading volume. But what's important is the liquidity. How fast can you unload your coins? And right now, the coins that has the most liquidity on all the exchanges is Bitcoin, okay? So in the past, we made the mistake of trying to convert all our Bitcoins into altcoins, thinking, oh, it's gonna go higher profits. But the problem with that is that there's no liquidity. So even if you get a 5x or a 3x or 5x or 10x on that, where are you gonna sell it at, right? So for example, like in 2017, right? I got into a coin that I would say made over $1 million profit, okay? But I could not even sell like $40,000 or $50,000 of it. So on paper, it says that I made $1 million profit, but the reality is I couldn't sell it, right? And so all of us on our team made that huge mistake, okay? And I'm not gonna go into details what happened, but there was coins that we bought and we had to pay taxes on, and we couldn't even take profits on it. We couldn't even sell it, okay? And the way that the US tax system worked, we had to pay taxes on something that we didn't even fucking take profits on. Okay, we received the coins and everything, and we had to pay taxes on it, right? When we signed the contract and everything to buy these coins, but then we had to pay taxes on something that we couldn't even fucking sell. So I don't want you guys making a stupid ass mistake like we did, where you have profits on paper, but when it's time to go sell $100,000 or $1 million of it, you cannot sell it. So we learned that from that mistake, and we didn't repeat it again. And then in 2022, we fixed that. And in the amateurs, the people that don't understand how the market works, they'll go from Bitcoin into altcoins to try to get a bigger profit. Whereas the people that really understand how the market works, they go from altcoins into Bitcoins, so they have liquidity, right? If you know that you hold on to a coin like Bitcoin and you know there's liquidity for this, when the market pumps and it goes up like crazy, you can just click the mouse and boom, 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 and sell it right away. Whereas if you get into an altcoin, it creates a problem, okay? It creates a problem because if you live in a country that taxes crypto, when you convert it into altcoins, there's a taxable event there. So you guys have to be aware, if you're living in like in the US, you have to be aware, okay, if I sell this, right, and convert it like these idiots online that don't know how to trade and don't know how to invest money, I'm gonna end up paying taxes on shit that I don't even have the actual profits. And dude, you're gonna learn a lesson very quick about how taxes work when you sell and you think you made a profit and you give most of it to Uncle Sam, okay? So please learn from our mistakes and don't try to redo it on your own, okay? So sell the 1% to 2%, practice selling now, so when the market goes up, you're mentally prepared to sell a big chunk, right? The second thing is sell the coins that are weak, the coins that are lagging, they haven't done well in this bull market. You need to sell it, right? You ain't got time, right? Imagine each of your coins is like an employee. Whenever they don't perform, like you have 20 employees, right? And all year long, they all work for you, and there's like 10 employees that ain't doing shit. They ain't making money for your company. You got to get rid of them. It doesn't matter what you feel about it. You got to get rid of it, okay? The third thing is that be aware of your tax situation, okay? Because we made this mistake so many times already, okay? Be aware of your tax situation. If you are a U.S. resident, you are a taxable person under the laws in the U.S. So do not try to do something stupid. Do not try to do something illegal, right? If you take a profit, you have to declare it, and then you got to pay taxes on it. Quit trying to screw around and think you're smarter than the tax man, okay? Because you're not, all right? There are people out there right now that are listening to this. The biggest thing that prevents them from selling the 1% to 2% is because they see the market is going up. That's the problem. They see the market is going up. And I'm here to tell you guys that taking 1% to 2% profits, right, is not going to hurt your portfolio, right? Even if it turns out to be a mistake and you took out profits too early, that 2% ain't gonna kill you, right? I want you to do the math, okay? Let's imagine that the market is gonna go up another 3x after you guys take profits, right? Let's say the market goes up 3x. So if you have $100,000 and you took out 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, and 2,000 in the next 5 weeks until the end of the year, you take out 10,000. If it's true like you believe, and the market goes up another 3x, well then the $90,000 that you have left is gonna go up 3x and you have $270,000, right? 90 times 3, $270,000, right? Now, who's gonna complain about that? You're not gonna complain, bitch and complain about that. You're not gonna be hurt by that if it goes up another 3x after you take out $10,000. No one complains about that. Now, let's look on the other side. What if the market does not go up? What if the market crashes 10, 20, 30% after you take out that 10% profit? Let's do the math. I have $100,000. In the next 5 weeks, I'm gonna take out 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. That's 2%, 2%, 2%, right? And then I take it out. And then the market crashes 10%. Well, my $90,000 remaining in the portfolio will drop from 90 down minus 9,000, which is 10%. Then now I have $81,000 left. That $81,000 plus the 10,000 I already took out, that's a total of 91,000. So I did not get hurt that much, right? Let's just say the market crashes 20% after I get out. Then I take the 10,000 that I already took out, plus the 90,000 times minus 20%, which is minus 18,000, right? So 90 minus 18, you still got 72,000 left. 72,000 plus the 10,000 you took out, you still have 82,000, right? In every scenario, the reason we came up with this 1 to 2% and the numbers and the percentages that we use is a number. It's not a perfect number. It's not a perfect number. If you ask us, hey, Ty, why didn't you choose 3% as a small chunk of profit? Why didn't you choose 5%? Why didn't you choose 10%? Why did you choose 1 to 2%? The reason why we chose 1 to 2% is because it's a number that does not hurt us emotionally if we're wrong. Okay? We don't worry about if we're right in the market. If we're right in the market, shit, we're happy, right? We made life-changing profits. That's not a big issue. The big issue comes if we are wrong. If let's say I take profits too early and I'm wrong, the market keeps going up, well, it didn't hurt me that much, right? Now, what if I'm right? Then it saves me a lot. There's a balance. There's no, in trading and investing, there's no right or wrong. There's just a number that is ideal for your scenario, right? That's why I say 1 to 2%. Some people, it's 1%. Let's say the worst case scenario, you're like, no, I'm greedy, Ty, the market's going up, I ain't selling shit, I'm gonna wait for this to go to $1 million, right? That's fine. Even if you are that greedy and you wanna hold on, you don't wanna sell shit, right? Selling 1% of the portfolio is not going to hurt you, it's not going to kill you, but what it does, the benefit that you get from doing that, it will train you mentally to get prepared and be ready to pull out a big chunk of profits when the market gives you the opportunity, right? The other thing that I want you guys to be aware of is this, I want to remind you guys why we take the risk to get into crypto. A lot of people forget why we get into crypto. We get into crypto to make a profit. Why do we want to make a profit for? So that it can change our life, right? That's why you hear our team constantly say life-changing profits, okay? If you take the risk and you get into crypto and you don't take a profit and you don't change your life, then why the hell did you take that risk for? It's not worth it, okay? It's not worth it to take that risk. If you take the risk because there is a chance that you are going to change your life. If you take that risk and you don't get any reward for taking that risk, then it's not worth it for you to take that risk, okay? So why am I saying this for? Because in 2014, we made the mistake. We made a big chunk of profit that could change our lives. And we're so fucking stupid when we made this life-changing profits, we didn't take it. So we had to keep working from 2014 until 2017. And we learned from that mistake in 2017, right? As soon as we had a chance to take profits, we took it, the profit, and it changed our lives and we retired. We've been retired since 2017. In 2022, we took another big chunk of profits to make sure our kids can retire, right? And our grandkids can retire. Now, on our team, we took profits to do that and change our lives. Let's look at on the other side of the coin, where we have students that had the opportunity to take profits to change their lives, and they did not do it in 2017. They did not do it in 2022. And right now in 2024 and 2025 bull market, they're going to repeat the exact same mistake again for the third time in a row in their life. Each market cycle will last around 2 to 4 to 5 years. You do not have time to waste. If I know that I need $200,000 to retire in Vietnam or in Thailand or in Cambodia or Laos or the Philippines, and let's say that I have a $300,000 or $400,000 or $500,000 portfolio right now, and I know that, yes, I can leave that $500,000 there. If it goes up another 1x, I'll be a millionaire, right? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit about being a millionaire? The thing that we made the mistake on was always trying to focus on being a millionaire instead of focusing on changing our lives. So knowing what I know now, if I have a $400,000 or $500,000 portfolio right now, and I know that, hey, if I take out $200,000 and boom, I can retire right now in Vietnam or in Thailand, I would take out that money right now. And then I would leave the other $300,000 to go up. I want you to think about this, okay? Just do the math. If I have $500,000 right now, I take out $200,000, I put it in the bank, and if you guys do the math, $200,000 times a 5.25% interest in a Vietnamese bank, you get about 10,500 a year, and that 10,500 divided by 12 months in a year, that's more than plenty for you to live to live a really good life. You may not own a palace like I am right now. You may not own Lambos or Ferraris, but you don't have to go in and work for the man or work in the office or work at the factory anymore, right? And you got enough money, and if you live within your means and don't try to live this fake, lavish luxury lifestyle that you see online all the time with these fake motherfuckers, right? Then what happens is that you can actually quit your job and start retiring. Now, some of you guys might say, hey, Ty, I live in the US, I cannot retire off of $200,000. Yes, you can, because $200,000 can buy you 10 or 15 years worth of retirement if you just leave the US and move to Malaysia, you move to Thailand, you move to Vietnam, or you move to the Philippines, right? And you're like, hey, Ty, I've been in America all my life. I speak English, I don't speak Vietnamese, I don't speak Thai or whatever. Well, then move to the Philippines, move to Malaysia, right? Those are very, very low cost of living countries where you can maintain the same current lifestyle, right? The same standard of living and the health and everything, and you don't have to go and work 8 or 10 hours a day at the office, right? So if I have 500,000, I take out 200,000, I retire right now. That changes my life immediately. That immediately changes my life. I don't have to wait for anyone. I don't need to get anyone's permission. I can change my life right now, right? If I got a boss, if I got a jackass at work that's messing with me and giving me a headache at work, I can take a profit and change my life immediately, right? And if the market goes up another 3x, I want you guys to think about it. If the market goes up another 3x from here, I take out 200,000, I still got 300,000, that 300 times 3x, I got 900,000. Plus the 200,000 I already have, right? Now, let's just say that I take out the 200,000 and then the market crashes 50%. Well, if that 300,000 I have left in my portfolio, if it crashes 50%, I have 150. 150 plus the 200 I already took out, I still got 350. So it's a win-win, right? This is the biggest mistake that I see so many people do. And this is the biggest mistake that I see our students do, right? I see people having an opportunity to change their life with their portfolio, and they hold on. They won't sell because they just want to say that they're a millionaire, or they want to hit a certain number, right? I believe it's a huge mistake to wait to get to a certain number. I believe that when the market gives us an opportunity to change our lives, I think that is more important than hitting a specific number. I think that being able to change our life is way more important than being able to say that, oh, I'm a millionaire, or I'm a decamillionaire, or I'm a centillionaire, right? So I'm making this video to really stress this, guys, because I can not say it enough. I have so many people that I see so many people getting online, they're listening to the wrong people, they're following the wrong people, and they don't know how to take a profit that actually changes their life, right? And you see these fake dudes online, they don't talk about when they're buying in the bear market, and now all of a sudden during the bull market, they start showing up. Okay, we showed up on our team every bear market, and we tell people when we're buying, and then we show up during the bull market like right now, and we tell people when we're taking profits. Okay, right now we're not taking big chunks of profits. We're just taking small 1 to 2%. And then people say, hey, Ty, are you talking about 1 to 2% of the portfolio, 1 to 2% of the coin, or what are you talking about? It's 1 to 2% of the entire portfolio. So whatever your portfolio is, take a calculator out and multiply it by 1% or multiply it by 2%. No matter how scared you are to take profits, no matter how greedy you are, no matter how much you think the market's going to go up, if you start taking 1% out, at least 1% out each week, you cannot be wrong. You cannot be wrong, okay? I'm gonna look at some of the questions that you guys wrote, and I'm gonna see if I can answer some of these questions for you guys, right? All the technicians and all the engineers are here, so I gotta answer some of their questions too about building the palace here, right? Okay, Harvey Williams asked, do you think the bull market lasts for another 6 months or 1 year? There's two questions that nobody knows. There's two questions that nobody knows, okay? The two questions are when and how much. If someone tells you in the markets they know when the bull market starts, when the bull market ends, or when the bear market starts, or when the bear market ends, they're full of shit. They don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Not even Warren Buffett. Nobody knows, okay? I don't know. Nobody on our team knows. Nobody on this earth knows when the bull market starts or when it ends, okay? Once you're deep into the bull market, that's when we know that the bull market is happening, okay? But as the bull market is going up, we don't know, okay? Nobody knows, okay? So if you ask me, hey, do you think the bull market is gonna last for another 6 months or 1 year? I don't know that shit. Because if I tell you, I just told you, nobody can answer that question. When and how much? When is the market going to go up? When is the market going to go down? And how much profit am I going to make? If someone can answer those two questions, they're full of shit. So if you ask me, I don't know. Because if I know, then I'm full of shit. So I don't know. That's why I'm not full of shit. Okay? If you ask me, historically, how long does the bull market last? Right? We can go back and look at how long the bull market lasts. But how long the bull market lasts is not as important as how long is the window of opportunity for us to take profits in a bull market. And historically, the bull markets, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. It's in our course. I have it written down in our course. I don't remember the exact number, okay? But I do remember the area, the time frame that we have to take profits, the window. I calculated when the peak was, right? And I noticed that we have an average of 2 to 3 weeks to take profits. In a bull market, there's a 2 to 3 week opportunity. There's a 2 to 3 week window of opportunity to take profits to sell and get the maximum profits. In a bear market, there's usually 6 months or a year to buy. But in a bull market, when it's time to sell, there's only a very, very small window of opportunity. And people think that, oh, when it gets that window of opportunity, I'm going to be able to sell. And the answer is no, you're not. Because if you don't practice selling small chunks, it is not realistic for you to just jump in. If you have a $100,000 portfolio, just to jump in, just sell $50,000 like that. It's not that easy like people say, guys. Especially if you have a 7-8 figure portfolio, right? It's not that easy to do that. You have to start selling small chunks. Even though I started the first channel on the internet to teach people about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency investing and trading, and I have a lot of experience. I've done, I don't know how many $1 million transactions I've done in my life. I have to still get my mind back into it. I'm over here building the Zen Palace, and now you want me to jump into the computer and start selling chunks of profits? I don't just run in there and start selling $1 million chunks. I go in there, I start selling 1,000 here, 2,000 there, 3,000 there, 4,000 there, $5,000, 10,000 there, 20,000 there, 30,000 there, and I slowly work my mentally to get into the groove of taking out 100, 200, $300,000 profit chunks at a time. Okay, nobody just goes in there and just clicks a button and boom. And I know that because there's not enough liquidity for you to just go in there and do that. Because if you do that too much, you're gonna mess up the markets and mess up the price and hurt yourself, okay? So to answer Harvey Williams' question, the window of opportunity to take profits is usually 2 to 3 weeks in each bull market, okay? And this is coming near the end of 2024. I believe that there's gonna be some selling, right? Because most people did not make money in 2024. So for the tax season of 2024, I believe that people are going to start selling towards the end of the year just to reduce their taxes, and then they'll start selling more in 2025. So I believe the bull market will go from 2024 into 2025, and it's really hard for me to see the bull market last more than 6 months or a year. The reason why is people get greedy. Why? People get greedy. That's just how human nature works. They get greedy, they start buying in, right? They see it go over $100,000 Bitcoin. People start rushing in, they start buying, and it pushes the price up, and then more people buy, more people sell, and all this FOMO, right? And when everybody, the taxi driver, the Uber driver, the garbage collector, everybody's telling you to buy Bitcoins, when they're all trying to buy Bitcoins, we need to be coming out of the markets. We don't need to be jumping in. However, we never worry about the market going up more after we get out because we always leave 20% in the market in case the market goes up another 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x. So I don't worry about that, okay? Harvey Williams says, how do you find a good construction workers and tradesmen that can build to a US standard? They cannot, okay? Out of 1 out of 10 in Vietnam, they can only build about up to a level, I would say up to like an 8 or a 9 quality. I have to be here every day to make sure that they build things according to standards and do it consistently. Can they build to American standards? Yes, they can, okay? Yes, they can. But you have to be there and constantly monitor and watch them like every day. Like I'm here from like 6 o'clock in the morning until like 9 o'clock at night, okay? So the other thing too is that when they build it wrong, there's no negative consequences. So imagine trying to build the biggest palace in central Vietnam and there's no consequences for making mistakes. So on the construction site, there's mistakes that happen every fucking day. Every goddamn day there's mistakes. Okay, that's why I gotta be here, right? Adam Tran asked, I'm 23 years old and I have a portfolio with 10,000 now. My accommodation for life in Saigon would need 48,000 for retired from 9-to-5 job, right? If you have a $10,000 portfolio or a portfolio that's under $100,000, right? What I would do is I would still sell 1% each week just to practice so I can sell, right? However, that's not enough to retire. So that 1% times 10,000, that's like $100. That's not gonna hurt you. That's not gonna hurt you anything. But what it does, it gets you mentally prepared. So if the market goes up to 48, 50, 60, $70,000, you can click a button and be able to pull out that $48,000 that you need, okay? The biggest reason why we're selling small chunks of profits, taking out small chunks of profits now, guys, is to mentally prepare us, okay? So that we can do it when the time comes to take out big profits, okay? Let me see, Pork Rolls says you should ape a big bag of Solana. Yeah, I made profits on Solana. Our team is making big profits on Solana, so that's part of it. Adam Tran asked, do I need to wait until 48,000 to take profit and take profit at 20,000 or something? I would just take out the 1 to 2% each week. Doesn't matter what size the portfolio I have. And then when the market gives me the opportunity, if I know that I need $48,000 and the market pumps up to like 60, 70, $80,000, then I will start taking out like $5, $10, $20,000 chunks to take out, okay? And then I'll take out some more as the market's going up, okay? Tan Hoa Tran asked, okay, am I gonna go live on the Vietnamese channel? Yeah, if I have time, right? So I know some of you guys are asking me, hey, when do I broadcast in English? When do I broadcast in Vietnamese? When do I broadcast in Spanish and stuff? Hey guys, I'm more focused on building the Zen Palace here for my family than I am about the markets, okay? The reason why is because making more money is not gonna change the quality of my life. Finish constructing the Zen Palace for my family is going to change the quality of my life, okay? So that's why I'm focusing on that. Tony Trin asked, I missed out on life-changing gains because I didn't ape memes in Solana. And this is the reason why we build the Tyfu crypto index, guys. So because we cannot know every coin that is going to make a profit, okay, in each bull market. And that's why we invented the index, because we don't have time to look at every coin and research every coin. So if it comes into the top 30 coins in the index, then that's the coins that we buy. We generally, all right, if you're using the 80-20 because you haven't retired yet, then we would buy the top 20 coins. If we already retired and we're using the Tyfu index, the 70-30 index, then we would buy about the top 15 coins. And then if you're in the 60-40, like our team is, then you would buy like the top 10 coins in the Tyfu index. And usually when you do this, it already includes all the meme coins. It already includes Solana. It already includes Ripple. It already includes Dogecoin. It already includes Pepe. So we are going to make a profit from each of these coins that pop up. So in this cycle, did I make a good profit on Solana? Yes, I did. Did I make a good profit on Pepe? Yes, I did. I haven't taken profits on Ripple yet, but I'm going to make a good profit on Ripple too. So the Tyfu index, right, is not going to get you the biggest chunk of profits, but it's designed so that if a coin has an opportunity to make life-changing profits in each bull market, we are going to get a piece of it, okay? And that's what we aim for, and we are going to do it consistently in each bull market, okay? So AVF Low says, hey, all in on coin Ripple. I love Ripple, okay, XRP, that's fine. I have it in my portfolio, and I already made a big chunk of profit on it. I haven't sold it yet, but it's already very, very big profit for me already. Okay. So risk reward says, ask honest opinion on utility coins catching a bid. I don't even understand what he's asking the question there. Okay. Okay. Liebermart says that his team has already started selling 1% each week already. Okay, that's good job. Good job. Lord P says, welcome back, Ty. All hail the Grandmaster, Leon Fu, the Honorable Grandmaster, legendary, world-renowned, leonfu.com. Right? He's in China right now, and he's working on leaving the U.S. and move to China. Our team, everyone on our team is working on leaving the U.S. right now, guys, and they're moving to China. I told them all in 2018 when I left the U.S., I told them all to leave the U.S., and they're just slow, but they're getting there. Okay, JF says this is for Bitcoin holders, right? But if you're an altcoin holder, it doesn't increase yet unless Bitcoin starts going to lose its dominance, right? So if you're holding altcoins, on our team, we already converted all our altcoins, the majority of our altcoins, and consolidated them and sold most of it and converted to Bitcoin already. So we're benefiting from this Bitcoin move. A lot of people are making the mistake, like we did in the past, where you're moving Bitcoin into altcoins in the bull market. And I think that that's I wouldn't say it's wrong. I'm not going to say it's right, but it's not an efficient way of investing. Okay, it's not an efficient. All right. So when we are investors, we strive to become efficient investors as well. Okay, not just make money, but be efficient at doing it. Okay. So I'm going to answer the questions that have a question mark at the end. If I don't see a question mark at the end, I'm just going to skip over it. Right. Okay. So here's Vu Duc Tung. He has he said he's already started selling small. He's holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. So he says if I'm holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, right? Which one should he sell first? And out of those three, you got to look at which one's the weakest, right? Now, the weakest one, right, is not going to be Bitcoin. So it's a choice between whether I sell Ethereum or Solana. And that's going to depend upon when did I get into that coin, okay? If I got into it at the same time, then Solana is the stronger coin. So I would start selling the Ethereum first, right? However, if you got into Ethereum first and you got into Solana later, then Ethereum is the bigger profit for you. So I would sell the Solana first. So it's always the weaker coin, and the weaker coin is the one that made less profits, okay? Both Ethereum and Solana has very good liquidity, and so I would not worry about liquidity with those two coins. I would just worry and measure how much profit did I make in each one. Now, there's a inefficient thinking where people think, okay, I bought this altcoin, it hasn't had a chance to make a profit yet, so I'm gonna hold on to it, right? I'm gonna hold on to it until it goes up, right? We've done that in the past, and we do not think that's a very efficient way of investing, okay? If it's not making a profit, if Bitcoin went from $20,000 or $16,000 all the way up to $100,000, and your coin has not done anything during that time, then I would sell it. I mean, there's no reason to wait any longer, okay? So, let me see. Some of these guys are saying convert the profits into altcoins. I would not do that. I would not do that. I would convert my profits into USDT, USD, or into Bitcoin. I would not convert it into other altcoins. That's increasing risk, okay? The reason why is because when we take profits, if you convert it into an altcoin, that is not a profit. And if you're living in the US, that's definitely not a profit, because think about it. If I take $10,000 of a Bitcoin and I convert it into an altcoin, think what just happened. If I made $10,000 worth of profit, I have to pay the government taxes on that, right? And let's say I paid the low end, 10, 15, or 20% taxes on it for long-term capital gains, right? If I pay the taxes on that, then I take the remaining that's left over and I go buy an altcoin. And if the altcoin goes up, then I sell it again, then I gotta pay taxes again. So the person that made the biggest profit is actually the tax man and not you. You're just selling just to give money to the government, right? You gotta think, when you sell, am I selling this to take a profit? If it's a profit, it needs to go into USD, USDT, or if you want to store the value of that profit and for future use, then you would convert to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is being used as a store of value. However, I would not convert, if I convert a Bitcoin to an altcoin or convert an altcoin to an altcoin, that's not taking profits. You're just converting it and you're paying the tax man a conversion fee. That's stupid, okay? Mike Mers, hey, what's up, man? What's up? Mike Mers and I used to work together, right? Good friend of mine. Let me see. Oh, it's a stable coin, yeah. Right? Yeah. Donald Alfredo, what's up, Ty? Hey, what's up? Okay, YOLO All In. He says, thanks to Ty, I was able to buy Bitcoin under 50,000. Okay, Ruben Rosales, what do you think about Shiba Inu? Okay, Shiba, Pepe, Doge, all these meme coins. All right, we got into them in the bear market. We bought them. I bought them, right? But as we were going up into the bull market, I noticed that out of all the meme coins, Pepe was the one that was doing the best, okay? And it was the strongest one. So what we did was, the way that we did it on our team was that we reduced it, and we had all our students consolidate all their meme coins into the strongest meme coin, and that was Pepe. So we pushed everything into Pepe, and then there's some people on our team who push it all into Doge, because that's the disputed, the most popular meme coin there is out there is Doge, and it's the first, and it's still a strong meme coin. So for me personally, I pushed everything into Pepe. Like for some of the guys on my team, they pushed everything into Doge. Same thing, okay? So I took profits on some of my Pepe, and I still have a good chunk left, and it's gonna continue going up some more. And I'm holding on to that, okay? For Shiba, I had some Shiba before, and I made a decent profit on that, but it did not show that it was as strong as Pepe, so I sold it and converted. I sold my Shiba, I sold my Doge, what else? There's a bunch of them, I can't remember them all. But I pushed it all into Pepe, so Pepe is the only meme coin that I'm holding right now. Happiness Recipes says, are you gonna make 10 million this cycle? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. The reason why is because I told you guys before, right, that there's two questions that people cannot answer: when and how much. Okay. The other thing too is that whether I make 10 million or not, this palace, when I get done with it, is going to cost me $5 million. So, I'm not going to tell you how much profit I made, but I can tell you that this palace right here is not going to be less than $5 million in Vietnam. Okay, which would be, and it's a bigger than 20,000 square foot in under if you use the foot system in America, and it's over 2,500 square meters if you use the metric system. Okay. Mike Donahue, one of our students in the Bronx, and he says that the Bronx is a high cost of living. And like I said, guys, if you live in California, or you live in New York, or you live in Chicago, or any of those Democrat cities, you know, you need about, I would say, about $8,000 to $10,000 a month just to have a regular standard of living, because the cost of living is so high in those cities. And you could easily move to Vietnam, to the Philippines, to Malaysia, to Thailand, and live really good on $1,000 to $2,000 a month. Okay, so that's up to you guys. Okay, risk reward ask, any advice for small portfolios? The small portfolios, they need to start practicing 1 to 2% per week, just like everyone else. And then the only difference is that when it's time to take out bigger chunks of profit, they don't have to be stressed out so much about liquidity. Okay. Radiant Substance says, I appreciate your wisdom. I would appreciate more if you guys take advantage of our wisdom and go apply it towards your portfolio, and stop trying to put your ego in the way and think you're smarter or you're better, you have more experience, and just do what we've done and learn from our mistakes instead of trying to figure out everything on your own. Right? Risk Reward asked, do you think the utility coins are done this cycle? In this cycle, I have not even paid attention to the utility coins. Okay, so I don't know what to say. You know, we use the Tyfu index strategy, and that's what we teach in the Tyfu investing system, because we focus on making consistent profits each cycle. We're not aiming to make 100x. We're aiming to make consistent profits in each cycle. So when we retire, we can have a reliable system that will make us money in each cycle so that we can live on it. Okay, we don't want to quit our day jobs. Remember, I was making like $130,000 to $160,000 a year in my day job, right? And LeonFood.com, he was making over $200,000 a year, and he was being offered like almost $400,000 a year at Dell Computers. And my other business partner, David, he was making, you know, over $120,000, $130,000 a year. So we're all making six-figure incomes, and we cannot leave those six-figure income jobs to go and focus on investing in crypto full time if we don't have a system that we know can consistently make us a profit in each cycle. Okay, so we aim for consistency and consistent profits in each market cycle instead of aiming for 1,000x that we don't know if that's ever going to happen. Okay. Stefano says, I've been following you from 2017 and you are the honest ones. Hey, we try to keep it real, man. You know, I grew up in the hood, and in the hood, we like to keep it real. Okay. So I'm trying to keep it real and trying to keep it as truthful as I can. Right. Hopefully you guys benefit from it and don't repeat the same mistakes that we make. Okay. Tu Fung asked if we're still taking profits. Yeah, we're going to start 1 to 2% per week. Okay, Adib is one of my former Forex students when I was in the US. And he asked, is Cumberland Mining still a good OTX platform to profit off-ramp in the US? Yes. Cumberland Mining, in the past, I have not used it in a while since I left the US. So since I left the US, I'm not a US person or US resident or US citizen, right? I've never been a legal US resident. When I was living in the US, I was living there illegally, because when I came to America as a refugee, I was too poor to go get a green card, and I was too poor to go get a citizenship. Okay, so Adib asked, is Cumberland Mining? I have not touched them in a while, and I've not reached out to them. If you reach out to them and they are still doing the OTC trading, then yes, it is a good platform to off-ramp. The difference between selling your coins on Cumberland Mining, which is an OTC platform, versus a place like Coinbase or Gemini in the US, is that Coinbase and Gemini will automatically report your profits or your transactions to the tax department, to the IRS, okay? Whereas Cumberland Mining will not do that, because when you're trading on Coinbase and Gemini, it's a centralized exchange. So according to the U.S. laws, they have to file what's called a 1099 and submit it to the IRS and report that you made these transactions. And I think there's a limit. I don't know the exact number. I cannot remember the exact number, but I think it's like $25,000. If you sell more than $25,000, they automatically report you to the IRS. Okay, and if you sell less than $25,000, they do not report you to the IRS. Okay, I don't remember the exact number. Okay, so don't jump on my ass if $25,000 is not the right number. Okay, but it's somewhere around that range. I remember when I read about it. Cumberland Mining is an OTC. So when you OTC, you're trading directly with Cumberland Mining. They're on the other side of your trade. So according to the law in the U.S., if they are on the other side of your trade, then that's just a peer-to-peer transaction. So they have no obligation to report you to the IRS after they make the transaction with you. So that's the difference. If I was taking out big chunks of profits, I would sell it. If I was in the U.S., I would sell it through Cumberland, because I can call them, we agree on the price, and then I got like an hour to send them the coins, right? It doesn't matter what the market does after the agreement, okay? And in the past, our team has done like really big transactions through them, and they can take the trades without no problem. And I talked to one of the guys I met him in person at a conference, and I talked to him, and he said that they can easily take a $5 to $7, $8 million transaction on one phone call, and without moving the price or anything, right? And that was in 2017. I mean, that was in 2018. So now I'm sure they can take a 10, 20, 30, 50, $100 million transaction with no problem, okay? So if you're taking like a big amount, oh, by the way, with Cumberland Mining in 2018, the minimum was $100,000. So if you're selling less than $100,000, you cannot trade through them. It has to be over $100,000. That was in 2018. I don't know what the limit is today, okay? But if you're trading a big amount, like a million or more, or 500,000 or a million or more, and Cumberland Mining will take it, I would go through them, because I like to make trades, and then I like to talk to my accountant, and I like to report my taxes with my accountant. JF asks, USD might crash sometime in 2025. What other alternative currencies are there to exit to? No, the US dollar is not going to crash anytime soon. Quit listening to Peter Schiff and all these other dumbasses, okay? The US dollar has 11 aircraft carriers, and if you include their smaller aircraft carriers, they have over 24 aircraft carriers protecting the US dollar, okay? Ain't nobody crashing the US dollar anytime soon. Stop listening to these dumbasses online that talk about the US dollar crashing. It doesn't matter what the fuck China or BRICS or the Euro or any of these people do, okay? I grew up in the hood, right? I chose the wrong friends, went and sold drugs and sold guns, and I ended up in prison for 14 years when I was living in America. And let me tell you something about the laws of the jungle, okay? I don't give a shit what laws anybody makes in the world. You know what matters? What matters is who has the biggest weapon and the biggest guns in the world. And right now, the U.S. has the biggest guns in the world. Ain't nobody messing with the U.S. dollar. I want you guys to imagine this, okay? Because you guys don't grow up in the hood, you guys haven't grown up in prison, and you guys haven't grown around violence. Okay, you guys not aware of that. Like me and my older brother, we grew up in the hood, we've been shot at, police has chased us, the shit that you see on what you gonna do when the cops come for you, right? The TV show Cops that they show in America, all that shit that you've seen, I've been through that. I've lived through that, okay? I'm not one of these rappers, so I don't go online and rap about it, so you guys don't know about it, right? But all that shit that all these fucking little fucking teenage rappers, all these dumbass fucking rappers, all these mumble rappers that you hear them rapping about, all these fucking shit, all the shit that you hear these gangster rappers about, me and my brother been through all that shit, man. We grew up in the hood. We've done that shit, okay? Like my brother and I, we've been fucking chased by the police. We've been shot at, you know. We've been stabbed. I'm not a rapper, so why would I be rapping about that, talking about that shit for, right? But the reason why I'm saying this, guys, you guys haven't had experience growing up in a violent environment.
When you grow up in the hood and you grow up in the streets and you grow up in prison, the guy with the biggest weapon, the biggest guns is the guy's running shit. And right now, I don't care what Peter Schiff and all these numbnuts online say about the US dollar crashing, okay? The US has over 20 aircraft carriers. They will fuck you up if you fuck with their dollar, man. Don't forget that, guys. Don't listen to all these fucking idiots. I don't care what Putin, I don't care what Xi Jinping. I respect those guys. I respect those guys. I have great respect for the Xi Jinping. I think he's one of the most powerful leaders in the world. I believe Putin is one of the most powerful leaders in the world. I believe Trump is one of the most powerful leaders in the world. But here's one thing that Trump has and the US has that none of these other fucking countries have. And they ain't gonna have it anytime soon. I don't care how many aircraft carriers that China's producing. Are they building aircraft carriers faster than any other country? Yes. It takes the US about 10 years to build one aircraft carrier. China can crank them out in 3 years. Okay, great, that's great for them. But guess what? It's gonna take another 50 or 100 years before they catch up to the US. The US has goddamn military bases all around the world. So when their aircraft carriers and their Navy ships go around the world, they have gas stations that they can stop and refuel. And I know some of you guys say, oh, Ty, you know, aircraft carriers and submarines, they're nuclear powered, you know, they don't need to stop for gas. They don't need to stop for gas, but an aircraft carrier does not go by itself. There's a whole goddamn, what do you call that? In the hood, we call it an entourage. An entourage. They got like 20, 30 destroyers, battleships that cruise along with the aircraft carrier. Those things need to refuel every 2-3 months. I don't know when they refuel, okay? But those suckers need to refuel. They suck a lot of gas, they suck a lot of diesel, they suck a lot of heavy fuel, okay? So the US has Navy stations and military bases all around the world. They're the only country that has that. So I don't give a shit how much aircraft carriers or how much battleships you got or how many corvettes or destroyers you have in your country. If you don't have fuel stations and petrol stations around the world for your Navy ships to get fuel, you ain't shit. The US right now has the biggest network of petrol stations and gas stations to fuel up their Navy ships. And they will not hesitate. They will fuck you up if you fuck with their US dollar. You fuck with the US dollar, you're gonna be blown up. You'll be hiding under the ground like Saddam Hussein did in a goddamn spider hole. And the US is gonna send their special forces over there, like Tim Kennedy and them guys. They're gonna come over there, dig your ass out of the fucking ground and shoot your ass. Stop thinking, you guys have never seen the violence that I have seen in my life on the streets and in prison. When somebody has control of the strongest currency in the world, they will not hesitate to wipe your ass out, your family, and your entire country out if you fuck with their dollar. Okay? Stop thinking this dumb shit that the US dollar is gonna go downhill. It's not. Okay? And that's just from a violence perspective and from a gun perspective and from a law of the jungle perspective and from the street perspective. Let me tell you from a Wall Street perspective why the US dollar is not going to crash anytime soon. Right now, you guys don't have millions and billions of dollars. When you have millions and billions of dollars, you need to put that somewhere, right? You need to put that somewhere while you go do your shit. Like for example, like if you want to build this palace and it costs $5 million to build, you can't just leave that money in the bank, right? Because like, let's say that I'm paying out each month. I think I pay out like around, I don't know, somewhere around, on average, okay, on average, probably about $30,000 a month for them to build this palace, right? Or more. Sometimes I gotta sign a big check and it's like $100,000 at a time. Sometimes it's $50,000, but on average, let's say it's $30,000 a month, right? So this shit costs $5 million, right, to build. I can't just leave that money in the bank. I gotta leave it somewhere. I gotta put it somewhere. I can't put it in crypto because if it goes up or down, I'll lose that money. How am I gonna finish building the palace? So how does someone that has millions of dollars, where do they gotta put it? They gotta put it into US Treasuries. And guess what US Treasuries is? US Treasuries are US bonds. That means I gotta take that money, that $5 million, I gotta loan it to the government, to the US government, and they use it, right? And when I loan it to them, They pay me about 4% a year. So what I do, or 3% or 2%, whatever term, whatever length of time that you negotiate with them, right? Well, it's not really a negotiation. You just go online, click the button, whatever, 1 month, 3 months, or a year, or 20 years, or 10 years, or 30 years, whatever, whichever time frame that you want, right? Why do I have to put it in there? Because if you put it in there, right, that's the only place that you can put it in. There's no other place that you can just go stick $5 million or $100 million or $1 billion in. There's no other place, guys. Stop thinking that the BRICS dollar or Bitcoin or the euro dollar, there is no currency out there right now that if you have $1 million, you can click a mouse and boom, you can put it in there, and then tomorrow, click a mouse, boom, you pull that $1 million out or $1 billion out. The US bonds and US treasuries is the only market right now on the goddamn planet, right, in this whole entire universe where you can stick $1 million, $100 million, or $1 billion in there with a click of a mouse. And then you can click a mouse and get right back out. So imagine if someone is trying to buy like a $100 million hotel or a $100 million business or $1 billion business, right? Where are they going to put that money while the lawyers are negotiating it? They got to put into U.S. treasuries, U.S. bonds. There's no other place to put it. All these idiots that talk about, oh, they're selling, China is selling U.S. dollars or Russia selling U.S. dollars or whatever, you know. Is the U.S. doing the right thing? They're sanctioning China, they're sanctioning all these countries, and they're confiscating $350 billion from Russia. Is that right? Of course it's not right. Of course it's not right for them to go steal somebody else's money. But guess what? What the hell are you going to do about it when the U.S. got the biggest guns out there on the market? What are you going to do? You ain't doing shit. Ain't no country doing shit. Okay? I'm not saying this because I grew up in the U.S. I'm saying this because that's the reality. That's how the streets work, bro. That's how reality works. That's how real life works. The guys with the biggest guns are the guys that's going to be controlling shit and running shit. When I was in prison, right, which were the strongest gangs? It was the Sureños. It was the Sureños, the MS-13. They were the strongest gangs in prison. Why? Because they will fucking kill you and stab you and cut your fucking throat if you fuck with them. What about the other gangs? Well, the other gangs couldn't do that. What about the Bloods? What about the Crips? They ain't shit. They ain't shit in prison. Like if I see a Blood or a Crip in prison, I'm not scared. When my brother sees a Blood or a Crip, we ain't worried because we know they ain't gonna do shit. You know who's gonna do some shit? The MS-13 gangs, the Sureños gangs. Them dudes, I seen when I was at the prison in Oakdale, Louisiana, right? I saw with my own eyes 5 or 6 MS-13, 5 or 6 Sureños, and they would hold off 40 or 50 other prisoners. There's half a dozen of them with shanks in their hands, and these guys are ruthless. They're mean, they're violent. There's 40 guys standing there, ain't none of them gonna do shit to those Sureños, okay? So I want you to imagine, out of the 200 countries out there in the world, the US is like the Sureños. Ain't nobody fucking with them. I don't care what anybody says. When it's time to confront them, they ain't gonna do shit. They're gonna stand there and just look and go, oh, you fucking with our dollar or whatever, you know? But they ain't gonna do shit. Just like all those prisoners, they talk all that shit, all those gang members, they think they're tough and everything, but when they see those Sureños, they ain't doing shit. They ain't doing shit to them, okay? It's the same thing out here in the real world, guys. And I'm telling you guys that, right? Remember, guys, investing is about time horizons. When we say the US dollar is gonna crash, how long? Oh, is it gonna crash in 1 day? Is it gonna crash in 10 days? Is it gonna crash in a year, 10 years? I don't care. 58% of the money that people or countries are holding out there, 58% of it is in US dollars. The US dollar ain't gonna crash anytime soon. Until you get rid of those 20 aircraft carriers, right? And some people say, I know, Ty, the US only has 11 aircraft carriers. The other ones are amphibious landings, okay? I don't give a shit what you call it, okay? If you have a ship where airplanes and helicopters can land on it and take off from it, it's an aircraft carrier to me. I don't give a shit what you call it, an amphibious lander or whatever. That's an aircraft carrier to me, okay? It's just whether it's a big one or a small one, okay? You got 20 of those in your military, you're gonna fuck up people's shit if they fuck with your dollar, okay? So stop listening to Peter Schiff. That dude is a fucking idiot, okay? How do we know he's an idiot? Because he moved and he lived in Puerto Rico to reduce taxes, okay? Puerto Rico is a fucking shithole. It's a ghetto. How do I know? Because I grew up in the ghetto. I grew up in the ghetto. I grew up in the hood. You think I don't know a poor neighborhood? I was poor for like 40-something years of my fucking life. So when I went to Puerto Rico, I said, fuck, I'm out of here. It's fucking ghetto. Okay? So the fact that Peter Schiff would move to a fucking ghetto and he's supposed to have money, move to a ghetto to live, I don't know what the hell he's thinking, right? And look at how wrong, he'd been wrong about Bitcoin for over a decade. Peter Schiff has been wrong about Bitcoin since our team bought Bitcoin at $60. The first Bitcoin our team bought was $60, right? He'd been wrong since $60. Now Bitcoin's almost $100,000. It might even be $100,000 right now while I'm broadcasting. That dude been wrong for over a decade. I would never listen to somebody that's been wrong for over a decade, man. If you listen to Peter Schiff, you're a fucking idiot. You're stupid. You need to go to another channel. Don't listen to this channel. Because if you listen to somebody that's been wrong for 10 years, you're dumb as shit, okay? Is the US dollar gonna crash? Do I believe the US dollar will crash? Does our team believe the US dollar will crash? Yeah, but in another 50 or 100 years, it ain't gonna happen in the next 10, 20 years. It's about time horizon, guys. It's about time frame, right? Is the sun gonna burn out? Is the planet Earth gonna collapse and there's no more oxygen and there's no more magnetic field? It's gonna lose the magnetic field and dry up and the oceans dry up? Yeah, it'll do that, but not for another 10 billion years. I'll be dead by then, okay? So stop talking about shit that happens 100 years from now. Focus on making life-changing profits right now. Each crypto cycle is about 2 to 4 years. So the decisions that you make, you need a plan. Like, how long is it gonna be before I'm wrong? And I need to plan this for 2 to 4 years, okay? That's how long the cycles are. Sika Blyat says even the Tyfu index isn't degenerate enough for me. Hey, we're looking for consistency, man. We're not going into the markets to get thrills. Some of you degenerate investors and you degenerate traders, right? You're taking too much risk, right? If you want excitement, you want high risk, go jump out of an airplane with no parachute or something, all right? Go get a Suzuki Hayabusa and try to drive it at 200 miles an hour or something. The market is not a place to risk, okay? Go and date a liberal or something. Go date a feminist or something if you want high risk, okay? But don't go into the market and look for fun, man, okay? That's not a place to look for fun. So Sika Blyat says, I want to 10x my net worth from here, but it seems like the market nowadays is so big, it's hard to pick coins to hodl. Okay, the coin that you need to hodl is Bitcoin. There's your answer, okay? From the team that started the first crypto trading and investing channel on the planet, in the universe, okay? Mike Donahue says month and a half. I don't know what he's asking me there. Okay. Milton Lee says, hey, from Australia. Hey, what's up, man? You know, you ever come to Vietnam, let me know. There's a lot of Australians coming here to retire in the beach city of Da Nang, Vietnam, because it's a beautiful beach city. Okay. Milton asks, what am I building? I'm building the Zen Palace. It's a home for my family. Let me see. Blockchain asks, what is the cost to build your Zen Palace? Rough estimate. Right now, my rough estimate is about $5 million US dollars. Sue, is it too soon to sell altcoins right now? Ty? Too soon to sell altcoins? It might be too late. When in the bear markets in 2023, I had like 20 coins, a little bit over 20 coins. And right now I'm down to like 4 to 6 coins. And most of it, like I think like 80% of my portfolio right now is in Bitcoins, right? T-Win asked, did you say you're selling weak coins into Bitcoin? Yes, I'm selling my weak coins, and depending upon the tax situation and depending upon the goal, right? I would sell it. If I don't need the money, I just need to store my profits, then I will sell it into USDT or USD or into Bitcoin, right? Donald Alfredo says, are there limits to the amount of fiat you can withdraw in Vietnam? The answer is no, right? When I'm building the Zen Palace right here, right, the $5 million to build the Zen Palace, most of that is in Vietnamese dong. I'm saying 5 million in what do you call that? In US dollars, but you cannot buy land and you cannot pay these employees here. It's illegal to buy land with US dollars. You have to buy it with Vietnamese dong. So all of that has to be converted into Vietnamese dong, right? Charity Goring says from Canada, how you guys doing? Can we practice taking out profits and convert to Bitcoin? You have to be aware of your tax situation, Charity, especially if you're in Canada or you're in the US. I don't understand the tax laws in Canada because I've never paid taxes in Canada, but you have to be aware. Let's say if I take out $100,000 profit and I convert to Bitcoins, right? I have to ask myself, I'm going to give you guys an example. If I take out $100,000 profit in the US, I file taxes. When I lived in the US, I filed taxes with my wife. So the first like $94,000 is 0% taxes because I held my coins for more than 12 months. Okay? If I hold my coins for more than 12 months, then I pay 0% taxes on the first 94,000, right? So if I'm in the US and I need to take out 100,000, I'll just take out 94,000 and I'll declare that to the IRS and I don't have to pay taxes on it. If I'm single, then I think it's 48,000. Don't quote me on these exact numbers, guys, okay? I'm 54 years old in about 3 weeks and my memory is not the best. And I'm not living in the US anymore, so I don't keep track of the full US numbers, okay? So in the US, if I remember correctly, for the year 2025, the first $94,000 of long-term capital gains is 0% taxes. And then from 94,000 to like, I think 454, 464, something around 400,000 or 600,000, I think it's 10% taxes, and there's 15, and then there's 20%, okay? When you hit the 24% limit, you gotta help pay for the health care for poor people, and so you gotta pay an additional 3.8% taxes. That's called the Obamacare tax, okay? You're basically just paying the health insurance for poor people when you hit that high of a profit limit, okay? So for Charity Goring, you gotta check. So if I'm in the US and I wanna take out $100,000, I would just take out 94,000 and then pay 0% taxes on it. If I have kids, what I can also do is, if I need to take out more than 94,000, what I can do is I can take out the other $13,000 and I think it was like 18,000. I can take out an additional 18,000 and I can gift it to each of my kids, right? So if I say, hey, I'm gonna take out some money and I'm gonna put it into my kids' education fund for the future. In America, they allow you to have two types of funds that are tax that have really good tax benefits. One is the health the health care fund that you can set up for yourself, and you can put like, I think like 5,000, 6,000. You gotta look for the rules on. Go ask a certified public accountant. Okay, do not trust what I say. Don't trust any of the numbers I give you. Just use it as a guideline to go so that you know what to ask when you go talk to your accountant or your tax attorney, okay? I came to America as a refugee. I dropped out of the 11th grade. I do not have a high school degree. I got arrested for drugs and for guns, and I went to prison, to federal prison in America for almost 14 years. I'm not licensed in any country, right, to give tax advice or to give financial advice. I don't have a license from any country to do anything, okay? So be aware of that, guys, okay? Use what I say and use the things that I say to go ask the questions to a licensed attorney or a licensed accountant, okay? Do not treat anything I say as financial advice. Do not trust anything that I say as tax advice. Everything I'm sharing with you is what myself and my team did, okay, when we were living in the US, okay? Most of my team is no longer living in the US, right? So this is the things that we had to do when we were living in the US, and I'm just reminding you guys that whatever country that you're living in, follow the laws in that country. You don't want to go to prison and have Bubba or Leroy or Tyrone try to stick their dick in your ass when you go there. So it's easier to just pay the taxes and go and do what you got to do to follow the laws in your country. Trust me, guys. I've been in prison for almost 14 years, right? There's Leroy in there, always trying to rape your ass. There's Tyrone in there trying to rape your ass. And there's always Bubba trying to get into your ass. You want to stay out here, make a profit, make life-changing profits, and enjoy your life, right? You don't want to go to prison and have Leroy, Tyrone, and Bubba chasing in your ass, okay? That's not a pleasant feeling, okay? Especially when I went to prison when I was 18 years old, and I remember it scared the shit out of me when Leroy was trying to get in my ass when I was 18 years old. And I was a skinny little dude, you know? I don't have the muscles I have today, you know? I wish I did when he was trying to do it. And some of you guys, I know when you guys hear me say this, right? I know the first thing that people think is, Ty, was Leroy and Tyrone successful in getting your ass? No. No, the answer is no, okay? My ass is still intact, okay? Leroy and Tyrone tried to get in, but they could not, okay? So, Tran Trung V, is there any tax to take profit in Vietnamese? Okay, right now, in Vietnam, the law is that they don't recognize crypto as an asset. So when I try to go register a company, right, as a crypto company, the lawyers would not do it. And I asked why, and they said, because Vietnam's laws right now, they do not recognize crypto as an asset class, so they will not allow me to register my company as a crypto company. And I said, well, it's a software company, right? Because, you know, I hire software engineers to build software for me so I can manage my portfolio. Like when you guys go to the website, cryptocurrency.market, right? I try to register that, and they said no, because it's related to crypto. I said, okay, so how much taxes do I pay for the crypto profits then? And they said, you don't pay anything, because the government does not recognize crypto as an asset class, so if they don't protect your crypto business, then they cannot turn around and collect taxes on it, okay? So when the laws change, then I'll let you guys know, right? Risk reward ask, thoughts on Rune? No, don't even pay attention to it, right? I only pay attention to the coins in the top 30, guys, in the Tyfu top 30, okay? Remember, guys, we built our trading and investing system to focus on consistency, okay? Consistency in each bull market. We are not focused on making this, you know, you hear these guys online talking about 1,000x here, 1,000x there. None of us on our team have ever done that. No one on our team has ever made 1,000x on anything, okay? When you hear these guys talking about making 100x and shit, I don't believe it, because mentally it is extremely, extremely difficult to hold on to profits for 100x. The only time that our team made 100x, I'll give you guys an example of when we made 100x, okay? Is when there's something prevented us from accessing the coin, or something prevented us from accessing the computer or the internet. For example, we had a team member, he was out hiking out in the mountains, and he was gonna make a hike across Europe or some shit, right? And he did that, and he left all his computers, all his cell phones. I couldn't even get a hold of him, right? And I think he left when Ethereum was like $2, $3, $5, $6, $7. And then by the time he came back, I think it was like hundreds of dollars. Okay? It's in the hundreds. And the only reason why he was able to do that, because he was stuck in the mountains hiking across Europe or something like that, and he had no access to his computer or the internet. Okay? Another time, right, when I say I've never made 100x, right, that it's true, but it's also not true. Okay? It's true, but it's also not true. Okay? It's true that I've never made 100x in my control, but I have made more than 100x. I think I made like 3,000x, right? 3,000x on a coin. It took me like 11 or 12 years to make that 3,000x. And that's only because the exchange got hacked, and I didn't get that money back until like over a decade later. A decade later, I got a small portion back. It's not a lot of money. It's a small portion, but the gain that I made on it is like over 3,000x. No, not 3,000x. Over 300x. Wait, is it 300x? Bitcoin went from like $200 to $100,000 right now. So whatever the multiple is. I'm not one of those guys. I'm not one of those Asian guys that's good in math, okay, guys? Right? When I grew up in the U.S., I had Indian friends around me who were good in math, and I had Chinese and Asian friends around me who were, those are the real Asian guys that were real good in math. Unfortunately, right, when I was born, God didn't give me that Asian math gene, so I'm not one of those Asian guys that's good in math. So whatever a couple $100 is to 100,000 today, right? That's what the multiple was, but it's a small chunk. And that's the only reason why I did that was because the exchange got hacked, okay? And then I didn't get the money back until, a small portion of the money back until like 11 years later, okay? Danny Wu asked, would you put the money back when there's a massive dip during the bull market? No. The only time we put the money back into the markets is when the market has crashed 40, 50, minus 40, minus 50, or minus 60%. And we watch the Tyfu index, and when it crashes that much, then we will start buying back in slowly. Let's say if I take out 100,000 profit, then when I buy back in, I'll start buying back in with 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. We'll slowly buy back in. There's no rush because in a bear market, we have like a year, 6 months, a year, 2 years to buy back in. But in a bull market, we don't have a lot of time. Also, right, my immigration lawyer in the U.S. just texted me, and he said that he's watching this live, right? And that just prompted me to remember something. Okay, it reminded me to remember something that I did not mention to our student Charity Goring in Canada. Okay, some of you guys did not take profits in 2017. Some of you guys did not take profits in 2022. So what happens is, in 2020, right now, there's a huge desire to avoid repeating the same mistake, and you want to take profits. However, there's an emotional difficulty, there's an emotional challenge, because if you pull out profits right now, you got to pay taxes to the government. And if you pull out the profit, like let's say you take out $100,000 now, and you go buy Bitcoins with it, you have to take out the 100,000, and let's say you give 15 or 20,000 to the government, you have 80,000 left, and now you got to buy Bitcoin, and then you got to wait it to go up. So it's really emotionally really tough to do that. So this is not financial advice. This is not tax advice. This is what I would do if I was still living in the U.S., okay? If I was still living in the U.S. and I have no intentions of leaving the U.S., abandoning my green card, or renouncing the U.S., or getting deported, or anything like that, if my goal is to stay in the U.S., I ain't going nowhere, right? I like having these 20 aircraft carriers protecting my money, right? Then this is what I would do. I would take out the $100,000 profit, right? I would pay whatever taxes I owe on it. If it's short term, if you held the crypto for less than 12 months, then you would have to pay the ordinary income, which is for, when I was in the U.S., I was paying around like 28% taxes. So I take out the 100,000, I pay the 28,000 to the government, and then I have, what is that, 68,000 left? Is that right? 72,000. I would have 72,000 left, and what I would do is, I would try to put that into a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA is where I pay taxes now, and then I let it grow in there. The reason why I would do that is so now in the future, in the next cycle, when I have to take profits, I don't have to worry about taxes anymore. Because inside a Roth IRA, it's the only vehicle, the only type of fund that I know of, the only type of retirement fund that I know of in the US for an individual that can allow me to put that in there and not pay taxes when I buy and sell, okay? So that's what some of our team members did, okay? Is a long time ago, when their portfolio was small, they converted their coins, their profits, into a Roth IRA. They put it into a Roth IRA. Now there is a limit for an individual. I forget what the limit is. I don't know what the limit is today. You have to look up. Just search for Roth IRA contribution limit, and the IRS will tell you what the limit is, right? Now, if you own a small business in the U.S., I believe that you can put it into the company Roth IRA or self-directed retirement account, there's a higher limit. So if I was a small business owner in the U.S., I would try to take advantage of that. Okay, so the advantage of these retirement accounts where I can put the money in, pay the taxes at the front end, then there's no taxes on the back end. Okay, talk to your accountant, talk to a tax advisor, talk to a tax lawyer, and they'll give you more advice about it. Okay, so be aware of that and know that that's available in the U.S. Since Canada is a little brother to the U.S., I believe they might have something similar. Okay, they might have something close to it. Okay, I don't know what it's called in Canada, right? But look for it. Look for any type of individual retirement account that allows you to pay the taxes at the front end, and whatever benefits that you have at the back end, do that. There's also another thing that our team members did. Remember, this is not financial advice. This is just what our team members did, okay? Some of our team members have a retirement account from their work or from their day job, right? And what they do is they want to invest in the Bitcoin, but they don't know how to buy Bitcoins, right? They don't know what a hardware wallet is. They don't know what custody is. They don't know any of that shit. So what they did was they would take the 401k and they select the year where they made the lowest income, and they would convert all their 401k money into a Roth IRA. Okay, by doing that, so let's say if I have a $100,000 401k retirement account, right? I would tell Uncle Sam, the government, that hey, I want to convert this into my Roth IRA. So by doing that, I pay the taxes, the 28,000 or the 28% taxes on that 100,000. I give the tax to the government. Now that 72,000 I have remaining, I put it into a Roth IRA, and then I buy a Bitcoin ETF with it. And there you go. That's the fastest, easiest way for me to move my retirement money into Bitcoin. Okay, if I strongly believe in Bitcoin and I don't plan on selling it, I just need a profit from it and not be charged taxes on it in every market cycle. Because if I'm 30 years old, 40 years old, I'm not going to retire until I'm 50, 60, or 70 years old, right? And some people say, hey, Ty, what happens if I put it into a Roth IRA or into a retirement account, and then the market shoots up and I want to take profits and retire early? And let's say I don't want to wait till 60. Like, I move 500,000 or $1 million into a Roth IRA, convert my 401k into a Roth IRA, and you're right, Ty, it goes up 2x, 3x, 4x, and I have several $1 million, and I want to retire early. I don't want to wait until 59 years old or 60 or 70 years old to retire. There's a law in the U.S., right? If I remember it correctly, don't quote me on it. If I say the law wrong, do not jump on my ass. Remember, I'm a high school dropout. I grew up in the ghetto. I lived in the refugee camps, right? I am not a tax advisor, and I'm not a financial expert, okay? And my phone just notified me that it's about to cut off because there's only 5%. So I'm gonna keep going until the phone cuts off, okay? So if I get cut off, I'm gonna end the live stream right here. But I wanna say one last thing, right? There's a law in the US where if you take out an early retirement from your Roth IRA, your individual retirement account, the law says that if you take it out early, you have to continue taking it, okay? So if you plan on retiring early and you're like, I don't want to pay a penalty for taking out early retirement, well then you just got to keep taking it out, the same amount every year, okay? So let me see if there's any other important questions here. Let me answer it real quick, right? Before the battery dies here. I got my headphones plugged in, guys. Oh, you know what? Hey, can you plug in the charger for me? Let me see if I can plug this in real quick, guys. Give me a second here. I forgot. I'll just take my headphones off. Here, plug this in. Let me see here. Okay. Okay. Ooh, damn, boy, I got lucky. It's down to 1%. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm not using the headphones anymore. Can you guys give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Audio, microphones are my worst enemy. Okay. Can you guys tell me if sure if you guys can hear me here. And I don't want to scroll down. If you guys can give me a bunch of hearts and let me know if you can hear me. If you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up or some hearts so I'll know. Because I don't want to scroll down and lose the place on the questions here. Okay. All right. So that means everybody can hear me. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Let me see. Now I lost my place here trying to scroll. Okay. Okay, Timothy Chan from Dallas here. He's one of our students in Dallas. If you have Bitcoin and Ethereum that is staked, it probably is time to unstake. And at what point, if ever, do we restake unless HODL bucket, then just keep it staked for life? Okay, first of all, never ever stake your Bitcoin. Never ever loan your Bitcoin to someone else, okay? If you loan your Bitcoin to someone else or you stake Bitcoin, there's no such thing as staking Bitcoin. So whoever told you that you can stake Bitcoin, they're full of shit and they're scamming you. If you sent the Bitcoin for them to stake, they just robbed you. They just stole it from you, okay? Ethereum, you can stake it. I currently stake some Ethereum, right? So there's two ways to stake Ethereum. You can stake it with 32 ethers through a software called Kiln. You need to use the Ledger Live software, and inside there's a Kiln software, and you can install the Kiln app on your Ledger Live hardware wallet to stake it. The good news is that you get like, I think like 4 fee, the Kiln software fee, then you get like 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, I forgot, but it's over 4.5%, but it's less than 5% rewards for your Ethereum, okay? So the 20% of Ethereum that I plan to hold for the rest of my life and give to my kids and my grandkids, those are the ethers that I will stake, okay? There's like a 9 or 10 day unlocking period or unbonding period or just unfreezing period for Ethereum. So you got to be aware of that, okay? When you stake the coins, always ask yourself, how long is the unbonding or unstaking period, okay? Or the unlocking period. For Ethereum, it's somewhere around 9 to 10 days, okay? The way that I remember it is that Ethereum is 2 weeks, and then all the other coins are like a month, like Polkadot and Cosmos and all those, right? So do not stake Bitcoin because there's no such thing as Bitcoin staking. Do not loan it to anyone. Do not do anything with it, okay? Ethereum, yeah, I would, if I was staking Ethereum and I need to sell it to take profits, then I would start unstaking it. I would start unlocking it because it takes like 9 or 10 days so to unbond, and then I would just have it ready. Now, the portion of the Ethereum that I want to sell, I will unstake it. The portion I'm going to keep for the rest of my life and hand it to my kids and my grandkids, right? Because remember, my third child is named Ether, okay? My fourth child is named Tezos. So for those coins, there's always going to be 20% that I keep just for them, okay? So someday when they grow up, I'll tell them, hey, look, you know, I named you, you know, after this coin that made life-changing profits for me. It's called Ether, and I'm staking it right here, and I'm going to hand it down to you. And then my other son, Tezos, I'll hand down his portion, okay? Timothy Chan in Dallas asked, at what point do I restake the staking coins? I would wait to the bear market, and I would buy it back, and then I would restake it then. Okay, that's how we've done it in the past. CO asks, is it too soon to sell all coins right now? No, we've been doing it for the last, all this year, but we've been selling it to reduce the coins that we have, okay? David Dobbs, my former co-worker, I think he's in California or something right now. What's up, Dobbs? T. Win says, can't wait to come visit the palace. Yeah, you know. Ty Win says, I always feel like your English stream brings way more value than the Vietnamese stream. The reason why is because, you know, I have a better English vocabulary than my Vietnamese vocabulary. Okay. Young Cao asked, Hey Ty, what were you thinking? We still have a big altcoin season. Guys, I tell you guys this all the time. I don't know why you guys keep asking me the same two questions that I say nobody knows the answer to. Nobody knows the answer to how much and when. When is the market going up? How much profit am I going to make? Right? Nobody knows. And you guys keep asking me those same fucking two questions that I keep telling you nobody knows. Nobody fucking knows the answer to those two questions. Stop asking them, okay? When you ask what you think we was to have a big altcoin season, you're asking me, do you think that when is the altcoin going up? Or how much profit am I going to make in altcoins? You're asking the same question. You're just reusing different words, but you're asking me the same question. Stop asking those questions. I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody on our team knows. Okay? Anyone in the market tells you if they know when the market's going up, when the market's going down, they're full of shit. If they tell you how much profit they're going to make, they're full of shit. They don't know until they finish taking profits and finish paying taxes on it. Okay? Sonny King, he asked me what's the target for BTC. Again, he's asking us how much profit am I going to make? That's what you're asking me. When you say, hey, what do you think Bitcoin's going to, Ty? What do you think Ethereum's going to? What do you think Dogecoin is going to? You're asking us, how much do you think we're going to make? How much profit are we going to make? And I just told you guys, we don't know, right? Our estimates are, we project that each Bitcoin has $1 million value. It's simple as that, okay? We're investing into Bitcoin to go to $1 million. Let me see. Man, Tanucci says, man, I still remember when you and I were riding around looking at homes under construction back in 2017. Yep. Now I'm constructing one. Mr. G asked thoughts on Polkadot. Thoughts on Polkadot. Yeah. I have like a small portion of Polkadot. I have a small portion of Cosmos. I have a small portion of Ethers. I have a small portion of Tezos. I have a small portion of these coins that I had in the past that I will continue to stake because I believe they have a good team. And when the coin's going up, I don't know. But I invest into people. When I see people with talent and I see good teams, I like to invest into it, okay? And I like to invest into it for a long term. Like, for example, like Cardano. I still have it, right? Am I ever going to sell all of my Cardano? Am I going to sell all of my Polkadot? Am I going to sell all of my Ethereum? No. The answer is no, no, no. The reason why is because those are some of the strongest teams in crypto. The founder of Polkadot was the one who wrote all the software for Ethereum to launch the Ethereum network. The founder of Ethereum is the founder of Ethereum. Is the second biggest coin on the planet. Let me see, what other questions are there? Yeah, I still hold a small portion of Polkadot. David's mom is watching also. Shout out to David's mom. Okay. When I finish building the palace, you know, David can bring, Dobbs can bring his mom over here to visit, see what Vietnam is like, right? The review boss asked, did you do anything to build the palace against earthquakes? Yes. The whole palace is built out of concrete, as you guys can see right here. They're starting to install the electrical, and they're starting to build the red brick walls. So the whole house is built according to the biggest typhoon that hit the beach city of Da Nang in central Vietnam was a level 13 typhoon. I don't know why they call it typhoons in Asia. When I was living in the greatest country in the world called Texas, right? We called it hurricanes, right? And over here they call it typhoons. So I don't know why they call it that. Okay, but it's supposed to withstand a level 13, level 13 winds. Okay, they don't use I think the level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, level 6 hurricanes like they do in the great country of Texas. They use a wind levels here in Vietnam. I think there's 16 levels of wind, if I remember it correctly, because it's new to me. And the architect and the structural engineers designed this palace so it withstands a level 13 wind. So the beach is right here, right in front of me. Like I got to cross one road, and then there's the beach. So right here is where the palace is at, is where the U.S. Marines landed their 500,000 troops when they came over to invade Vietnam. So my palace is right where the Marine military base is at in central Vietnam. If you guys grow up, David Dobbs' mom, she probably knows this. She probably grew up watching MASH on American TV. So where the show MASH is at, what they refer to as China Beach, this is where my palace is built at, okay? Where the show MASH took place, okay? Obviously, the show MASH was not filmed in Vietnam, but where the story is built on is where I'm building the palace. So as far as earthquake goes, I don't know. I have to ask the architect. I know they built it and reinforced it, right? But I didn't ask him. I just asked him about the typhoon, and he said they built it so that it withstands a level 13 typhoon, okay? Aaron asked, do you only buy coins in the top 100? No, we only buy coins in the top 30 of the Tyfu index. And for the people that are beginners, you know, they're welcome to buy the top 30. For the people who already are students who are already retired, we encourage them to only buy the top 20. And for the people who are already retired, like myself, for a long time already, then we only focus on the top 10 coins, because we need liquidity, okay? Sunny King asks, is the Tyfu index is in the red zone already? Why are we not selling yet? Okay, there's a big difference here. There's a lot of confusion, right? In the Tyfu 30 index, when we're in the bottom 1/3 in the green here, that's the area that we buy. In the middle 1/3 in the gray, we hold. And in the top 1/3, right, we look for the signals to take big profits, okay? But we don't sell it yet to take the big profits. But we do practice selling small chunks so that we practice taking small profits, like the 1 or 2%, and then we gradually increase whenever the market gives us the opportunity to take big profits. That's when we'll start selling big profits and taking profits. If you're an engineer or you're a mechanic or you work around water pumps, the small profits is like priming your pump. I'm telling you guys, okay, we made this mistake in multiple cycles already, and our students have made it. I'm telling you guys, mentally, you cannot go from making a $4,000 or $5,000 a month income to all of a sudden selling to take profits of $50,000, $100,000, $1 million. You have to do it in small chunks, or else mentally you will not be able to do it, okay? Kundao in Saigon asks, he's one of our students, he's already retired from the 2022 market. He asks us, with taking 1 or 2% out of the portfolio every week, should we continue to rebalance the portfolio according to the Tyfu index, 80-20, 70-30 by January 1st? Yes, the rebalance always happens every quarter, okay? There's no, what do you call that? There's no, what is the word I'm looking for here? There's no reason to stop the rebalance every quarter. Every quarter, we always rebalance our portfolio, okay? The profits that we take out, if we put the profits into the expense bucket, right? We take it out, we put it into the expense bucket, then we leave it there. Now, some of you guys say, hey, Ty, I don't have enough money to retire yet, so if I take a profit out right now, the 1 or 2%, right, what do I do with it, right? You put it into a separate bucket, okay? You can put it into the ammo bucket if you want and rebalance on January 1st, or but then you're buying and selling, and that's too many transactions. That's going to be a huge tax cost to do that. So you take it out and you just put it aside, right? And you don't count that as part of your 20% that's used to rebalance your portfolio, okay? Sandeep Singh asks, can USDT Tether disappear like Luna? I mean, anything can disappear in crypto. I don't see why it couldn't, but the probability is very low. because I don't see them doing anything that would cause them to disappear. Okay, if you go to the USDT, the Tether.io website, they tell you on their reports, on their audits, how much of their money is being held in U.S. Treasuries, and in order for Tether to disappear, that means that the billions of dollars they hold in U.S. Treasuries would have to disappear. And the only way that those U.S. Treasuries would disappear is if the U.S. disappears, right? The 20 aircraft carriers that's protecting the U.S., they would have to disappear. I don't see how that would happen. I cannot even come up with an explanation of how billions of dollars in U.S. Treasuries would just disappear, and how a couple dozen aircraft carriers would just disappear. I don't know how to explain that. So the answer to that is that I don't think that USDT is going to disappear anytime soon, because that's a very, very low probability. Okay. So Genghis Khan says nobody spends more money on the military defense than the USA. You are correct. That's why ain't nobody fucking with them anytime soon, right? Sue Q, what do you think about MicroStrategy stocks? Our team has made a huge profit on MicroStrategy stocks. Our team has made a huge profit on MicroStrategy convertible bonds. And our team has made a huge profit on investing into Bitcoins, the same Bitcoins that MicroStrategy is buying. Okay? Now, MicroStrategy stocks is a proxy for Bitcoin. Okay? I want you guys to think about this. Okay? A proxy means that it represents, or it symbolizes, or it replaces. So there are some people, they will not buy Bitcoins directly because they're afraid, or they don't know how, or they don't want to, they're so scared to put Bitcoins into a retirement fund, right? Their retirement account. So what they'll do is they'll go buy MicroStrategy, since MicroStrategy is the company that holds the most Bitcoins. So when the price of Bitcoin goes up, the value of the company stock goes up with it, okay? Now, the thing is that if you invest in the MicroStrategy stocks, it's like investing into Bitcoin. And some people say, Ty, well, the price of MicroStrategy stocks is way higher than the price of Bitcoin. So isn't that, like, why would I want to pay an extra premium for holding MicroStrategy stocks when I can just buy the Bitcoin itself? Or I can just buy the Bitcoin ETF itself, right? Well, you got to understand something. There's a big difference between holding MicroStrategy stocks versus holding Bitcoins, or versus holding a Bitcoin ETF. And let me guys explain to you guys the biggest difference, so you guys are clear, so that you make the right personal portfolio, okay? I'm gonna tell you guys the advantage and disadvantage to each of the asset classes. If you hold Bitcoin, the benefit to that is that you're in control of the money. Ain't nobody gonna confiscate it, ain't nobody gonna censor you, ain't nobody gonna stop you, okay? That's the advantage of it. There's nobody can confiscate or censor your money. Okay, that's the biggest advantage to holding your own Bitcoins. Now, what's the downside? What's the disadvantage of it? The disadvantage of it is if you die, it's very hard to transfer those Bitcoins to your kids and your wife. It's extremely difficult to explain that process to them. So when you die, there's a high probability you just lose all your Bitcoins. Okay, that's the risk. Now, the other disadvantage of Bitcoin is that it's technical. It's very technical. So if you want to leave it in your will, you want to do estate planning with Bitcoins, it's not easy. Okay, it can be done, but it's not easy. Okay, so that's the disadvantage and the advantage of Bitcoin. Now, the advantage and disadvantage of buying buying a Bitcoin ETF. The advantage is that it has insurance. Okay, Bitcoin does not have insurance. What do I mean when I say insurance? Whenever you buy a Bitcoin ETF, whatever financial institution that you buy the Bitcoin ETF at in the USA, right? They have what's called SIPC insurance, and that insures you up to $500,000. So if the exchange or the brokerage firm, they go bankrupt or whatever, they can go and what do you call that? They can go bankrupt, but they can their insurance, the SIPC, will insure you up to $500,000 for your account, okay? For your Bitcoin ETF account, and then the disadvantage of that is that you are not in control and you're not in custody. A third party is holding your Bitcoin ETF, and you don't know for certain if they actually have the Bitcoins behind that, inside that ETF or not. There's no way for you to confirm that, okay? And if there is, I would not trust it anyway. The only people I trust is when I can see the transaction on the blockchain. When I have my own Bitcoins in my own Ledger wallet or my Trezor wallet, that's the one that I can check on the blockchain Explorer and I can confirm it. But with an ETF, I don't know how many Bitcoins they have, and I don't believe whatever they say. I only believe what the blockchain Explorer tells me. Okay, so that's the advantage. The other advantage, besides having insurance, is that I can borrow against an ETF. I cannot borrow against Bitcoin at the moment. It's not easy. Like there's lending platforms that let you borrow against holding Bitcoins, but that is not safe. I don't trust any of them. I lost money in Celsius. I lost money in a bunch of lending platforms. You know, they promised this and then they lost it. Okay, the fuckers, I can't believe this. The fuckers at the scammers and the fuckers at Celsius, they lost my money, and they're trying to make me pay for it. Can you believe that shit? Can you believe that shit? That these cocksuckers stole my money and scammed me out of my money, and now they want me to pay them. I can't believe it. I got the notice from the lawyer, and I said, these fucking idiots gotta be kidding me. They lost all my money, they stole all my money, and now they want me to pay for it? Fucking idiots, okay? I haven't had time. When I have time, I need to hire a lawyer and sue their ass for the money they scammed from me and that they stole from me, okay? The other thing too is that do not use any of these lending platforms. If you can go to the bank and you can hold your MicroStrategy stocks as collateral, and the bank will loan you money out. You can go to any of the brokerage firms like Fidelity, like Charles Schwab, like what's the other one? God damn, I swear, man, my memory is just. What is this broker's name? Oh, Morgan Stanley. You can go to Morgan Stanley and places like that, or Goldman Sachs, or any of those places, and you can hold your American stocks as collateral to borrow money, okay? Or with the banks, there's all kinds of financial institutions that will let you do that. You cannot do that with holding Bitcoins, okay? Now, let me tell you something, the difference between holding a Bitcoin ETF versus holding MicroStrategy stocks. Yes, the MicroStrategy stocks are way more expensive than holding a Bitcoin ETF or holding Bitcoins itself. But there's one advantage of MicroStrategy stocks that no one is talking about, is that you got Michael Saylor, the CEO and the founder of MicroStrategy stocks, right? Every day he is on the news promoting Bitcoin. Every damn day the dude is on some news channel, on some podcast, promoting Bitcoin and promoting his company. You don't have that, okay? You don't have that. Like, yeah, we got people like myself and other people, other YouTubers and other people in social media, you know, talking about Bitcoin stuff. But our words don't hold as much weight as Michael Saylor, because his company has the largest amount of Bitcoins in the world, right? And every day that the Bitcoins go up, his company Bitcoins are going up by hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. So every day it's in the news, every day. So holding his company stocks, the biggest advantage of holding his company stocks, even though you are paying a higher price for it, is that you have somebody out there on CNBC, on Bloomberg, on YouTube, on Twitter, promoting those stocks for you every day, okay? So that's the advantage of it. Let me see, what other questions you have here? Let me see. Tan Win Min asks, are you guys selling 1 to 2% of Bitcoin, or 1 to 2% of your entire portfolio? When we say that our team is working on selling 1 to 2% of our entire portfolio, we're talking about the entire portfolio, and we're going to start selling the weakest coins first and going up the scale to the strongest coins. Bitcoin is the last one, okay? Hugh Kwa Win says, I've been practicing the security measures you taught me, transferring money in and out of the Ledger wallet many times, but I still feel worried that someone might hack and steal the coin. No, they cannot hack and steal the coins inside your Ledger or your Trezor because they have to physically hold the wallet and click the buttons in order to transfer it. So if you got a Russian hacker or a Chinese hacker trying to hack into it, they cannot do it. They actually have to hold your Ledger wallet and click on the buttons in order to steal your coins. Okay. Okay, Clip-On says Bitcoin fell from 70,000 to 16,000 in the past. What's different this time? There is no different. Bitcoin's going to run up, people are going to sell and take profits, and it's going to crash back down again. The only thing that we know that we don't know is how high is it going to go before it crashes, and then when it crashes, how low is it going to go? We don't know that, okay? But we know that it's going to crash. All markets rise and all markets crash, okay? They rise because people get greedy and they buy in, and it crashes because a lot of people are selling to take profits, okay? Or they're just selling to get out. Ken asks, good day, sir. What are your thoughts on RWA, real world asset? I have no thoughts on it. Don't even know what it is. Don't even care. Don't even look at it. Only asking about the coins in the top 30, guys, okay? Chin asks, hey, Ty, Bitcoin dominance is still 61%. Altcoin still doesn't pump yet. Yeah, it's still 61% because Bitcoin is the strongest one right now. Okay, that's why about 80% of my money is in Bitcoin. Let me see. Janet Wynn says, "Hey Ty, how do I cash out to VND, peer-to-peer Binance? But is there a different website I can use? Binance peer-to-peer." To sell to VND is probably the most liquid right now, right? But be very careful. Like when I do transactions on there, like half the transactions are scams, right? And the way you prevent yourself from being scammed is make sure that you use the guys with the highest amount of transactions, and even those guys will try to scam you too. So don't think that they have 10,000 transactions and they have a good record or something that they're not going to scam you. Every chance they get, they're going to try to scam you. So make sure you receive the VND first before you unlock the Bitcoins for them or the USDT for them, right? Okay. Blockchains ask, what exchanges are you using in Vietnam, right? In Vietnam, you can use Binance, that's the most popular one. And then you can also use, depending upon, you can also use other exchanges like Kraken. You can use Bitstamp, you can use Bitfinex, right? And I don't know what to say, guys, but sometimes they let you open an account, sometimes they don't let you open an account. So you just gotta try with each one, right? Donald Alfredo asks, how's the education and healthcare there in Vietnam, in Thailand? The healthcare is significantly better in Thailand, and it is way better in Thailand than even in the U.S. is my opinion. All right, for regular like healthcare, like for heart disease, for just regular healthcare, like if you have some rare genetic disease, it's probably better if you're in the U.S. But if you just regular healthcare, you don't have to wait in line. You pay and you go in Vietnam and Thailand. You don't have the expensive healthcare costs because the government in Vietnam and Thailand, they will not allow the drug companies and the healthcare companies to rape your ass for healthcare. Okay, we know this because if you go to Vietnam and Thailand, you don't see any commercials, any advertising for pharmaceutical drugs. They don't allow that because they're afraid that the pharmaceutical company might scare people and then go buy their drugs, right? And also in Bangkok, that is the highest. In Bangkok has the biggest medical healthcare tourism in the world, I think, because if you go to like the Bum Ring Lad Hospital in downtown Bangkok, right? It's like a 5-star hotel, and there's people from all over the world there, going there every day, coming in and out. It's like the busiest hospital I've ever seen in my life, and they have really great service there. I delivered 2 of my kids, Ether and Tezels, there at Bumring Lad Hospital in downtown Bangkok, and I think the cost was like $4,800 per kid for the delivery. My last child, Tezos, he was born like 28 days premature, I think. It was like three and a half weeks premature, something like that. And we had to bake him in the oven for longer before the hospital would release him, and that cost about $500 US per day to bake him in the oven, right? So until he was fully baked. Okay. The education in Vietnam, they have international schools. They cost quite a bit of money. They cost like $10,000 to like $20,000 a year for private foreign international schools. It's also expensive. In Vietnam, I think one of the most expensive international schools is called RMIT. You'll hear Vietnamese people call it Remit. And then the one that's the most expensive one that I know of in downtown Bangkok, I know it because it's right across the rock. Oh my God, my memory, man. I don't remember the name, but it's near the most luxurious shopping center in downtown Bangkok. It's near Icon Siam. I forget what the name of the school is. Okay, but it's right across the river from me in Bangkok. Okay, Bitcoin hit 99,000 Ty's live stream. Awesome. I hope it breaks 100,000 so that we can call this the $100,000 live stream. Okay. Let's see. So Timothy Chan asked in Dallas, is the Bitcoin ETF better or MicroStrategy better for a Roth option? It depends upon your goal. Like, if your goal is to have your money in crypto and you can convert your, you can use either one. In my opinion, the biggest advantage, like I mentioned earlier, is that MicroStrategy stocks. The biggest advantage to that is that it has Michael Saylor on the news every day in the media promoting the stock in the Bitcoin. Okay. 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 Trap Pack asked, you still backing Tezos? I don't know what he means by that. Some people think that I was paid by the Tezos community or that I was paid by the Tezos Foundation to talk about them. Guys, I've never been paid by anybody to talk about any coin. Okay? People, I don't know why people accuse us of doing that, right? You guys don't hear me talk about, you guys don't even hear me using my promo code for hardware wallets. You don't see me using a promo code, or my referral code for any exchanges. You don't hear me talking about anything. The only thing that you guys hear me talk about is the mistakes and the experiences that we learn being in crypto. That's it. You guys don't hear me promoting any coin. I don't promote any coin. If I see a coin and I see a strong team behind it, or I see the coin solving a really good problem that's in crypto, then I talk about it, right? And now, because for scalability and liquidity reasons, and for consistency reasons, we are using the Tyfu index as our strategy, and you don't hear me talking too many coins, right? But since the beginning, people assume that since we started the first channel on cryptocurrency, trading and investing, that people think that we actually receive money from the coins to talk about them, right? We haven't received anything, guys. Like if you guys have evidence of us receiving coins or money to talk about anybody, let me know, because I want to know where those coins are at. I'll take it, okay? But I haven't seen any, okay? Lee Yin Yale says, Ty, the HODL, ammo, and spinning bucket strategy you shared some time ago is a good practical one. Yes, It took us about, I think, 5 years for me and Leon to invent the 3-bucket strategy of the HODL, ammo, and the spending bucket, right? Because we made the mistakes after 2017, in 2014, and we made the same mistake again in 2017, and nothing it hurts more than making a mistake and not knowing what the mistake is and not knowing what the solution is. And then it wasn't until 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and it wasn't somewhere around 2019 before we finally realized that we have to have 3 buckets of money. And that's how we invented the Tyfu 3-bucket strategy. Okay, I'm glad it helped you guys out. If you want to learn more about the 3-bucket strategy, right, get a copy of the course that we have on our website at cryptocurrency.market. Okay. Genghis Khan asked, do you see more companies putting Bitcoin in their reserves like MicroStrategy? Yes. Not only do I see more companies doing that, I see more family offices doing that, and I see more personal families like my family doing that. Okay? Everybody's going to start putting reserves into Bitcoin now, especially once it starts to break above $100,000, right? You guys got to remember something, guys. You guys can bullshit around and think that Bitcoin is a joke when it's $100. You can think it's a joke when it's $1,000. You can think Bitcoin's a joke when it's $10,000. But you cannot sit there and bullshit around and call Bitcoin a joke when it starts to crack $100,000. Okay, that is a serious asset class. There's not too many things in the world that cost $100,000 and you can click a mouse and get into it and get out of it right away, such as Bitcoin. Okay, so if you can't see that this is a serious asset class, right? You're either blind, you're ignorant, you're foolish, or you don't understand it. It's got to be one of those, right? I want to remind everyone again, guys, humans have been around for millions of years, okay? I know the Bible says that humans have been on this earth for 6,000 years, right? But I don't believe that. I believe humans have been on this earth for thousands of years, right? And millions of years. And in those millions of years that the earth has been here, okay, that humans have been on this earth, we have only invented 3 asset classes. We have only invented 3 asset classes, and Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are the 4th asset classes that humans have invented. The first asset class that humans have invented to store value is real estate, land. The second is what we call precious metals, like gold and silver. And the third is what I call paper assets, like stocks, bonds, you know, things like that. And then the 4th asset class that humans have invented is a digital asset class, and it's called Bitcoin and crypto. Okay? An asset class has to be counted in trillions, dozens and hundreds of trillions of dollars in value. If it cannot be counted in trillions, it is not an asset class. You have to be able to store billions and trillions into an asset class for it to be called an asset class. If you cannot put billions and trillions into it, it is not an asset class. Let's take, for example, rice. Vietnam and Thailand produces a ton of rice, but it's not an asset class. Why? Because you cannot go put $1 billion into rice. Okay? Water. Water's everywhere. Can you put $1 billion into water? No, you can't. There's no place that sells $1 billion worth of water. Can you put $1 billion into concrete? No, you can't. Concrete is not an asset class. Why? Because you cannot go buy $1 billion of concrete with a click of a mouse. Okay? Can you buy $1 billion worth of Lambos and Ferraris and supercars? No, you cannot click a mouse and buy $1 billion worth of condos. Lambos and Ferraris. That's why it's not an asset class. Okay? An asset class has to allow you to click a mouse and push billions of dollars into it. Why is U.S. Treasuries an asset class? The reason why is you can click a mouse and push in billions of dollars into it. That's why it's an asset class. And that's called, U.S. Treasury is one type of paper assets. Okay? Crypto is a digital asset class. That's the reason why you can push billions and trillions into crypto. Right now, it's early, so you cannot push $1 trillion into crypto yet. So you have to give it time to grow. And as it's growing, imagine that the earth has been around and it's only produced 3 sons, 3 child, 3 kids, 3 daughters, 3 children. And now this is the first time in human history in our lifetime that the earth is going to produce a 4th child. And each one of these asset class childs takes hundreds of years to grow into becoming an adult. Like when gold became an asset class, it did not become an asset class overnight or in 1 year or 10 years or 100 years. It took hundreds of years, okay, for gold to become an asset class that's worth billions of dollars, that humans can push $1 billion into gold, all right, and store that much value into gold. Crypto is the same way. Bitcoin is the same way. It takes years, decades, and hundreds of years for crypto to grow into a huge asset class. You cannot do that overnight. So while it's growing, if we put our money into this new asset class, this new child, this asset class child that's being born, and you give it time to grow, that's how we make the life-changing profits. Stop listening to these dumbasses and these idiots and these overnight traders and investors that only give a shit about short-term profits, okay? The short-term profits are counted in hundreds and thousands of dollars, okay? The long-term profits in crypto are counted in millions of dollars. So which one do you want? Do you want the long-term profits that's counted in millions of dollars, or do you want the short-term nickel and dime ass profits, okay, that cost, that are counted in hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars? I prefer, right, on our team, we look at things long-term. We hate shit that is short-term. Anything that you tell us that can make a profit in 1 day or 1 week or 1 month, we just ignore it. We just zone out. We're like, blah, 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 blah. We don't hear anything. But if you talk about making millions of dollars over 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, then our ears light up and listen and pay attention, okay? Candy Win asks, besides quarterly rebalances, are there any other times to rebalance? Like when the market goes up or down? Yes, like when I got into Pepe and it exploded, it just exploded, right? From like 100, 200 Satoshis to like 1,700 Satoshis. Yes, it just happened so quickly that it unbalances your portfolio. So we would rebalance that coin within our portfolio when there's something crazy like that happens, okay? Okay, Switchblade 13, what is a good strategy to buy during the bear market, right? How do you determine when is a good time to buy? All you gotta do is go back to the videos we made in the third and fourth quarter of 2022 and the videos I made in 2023. Guys, we started the first channel to teach people about how to invest into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. We've been doing it since 2013. We're the oldest crypto investing channel on the universe, in the universe, okay? You don't have to ask us. Go watch our old videos in every bear market and you'll see what our thoughts are, why we said we were going to buy crypto in beginning of January 2023. You don't have to ask us. Just go watch our old videos and stop being lazy, okay? Long as, can you explain Michael's strategy business model? Mr. Michael said that his company created 40% yield from buying Bitcoins. See, the advantage that MicroStrategy has and they're buying Bitcoins is because they're able to issue convertible bonds. And the thing is that if you're a public company, a big public company like MicroStrategy, the government allows you to issue bonds. Like you and I cannot issue bonds and sell it to the world, all right? But a public company in America, under the, they do the right things and everything, they're allowed to issue bonds to the public. And they can issue, let's say they issue $1 billion worth of convertible bonds, and they agree that they will buy those bonds back from you and pay you a certain price for it, right? So they're able to borrow money from the public, okay? And in the world of Wall Street, that's called capital formation, or they're raising capital for their company. So he's able to borrow money from the public at like a very, very low interest rate. It's like less than half of 1%. It's less than 1% interest rate. So he takes that, he goes buy Bitcoins with it, he makes a profit, and then he pays back the people that lend him the money, okay? It's just an easy, simple explanation. It's a little bit more complicated than that, right? Our team has made money from buying those convertible bonds from MicroStrategy, okay? So yes, it is profitable. We did do it in the past. Our team has done it, right? That's how I know about it. Mr. Sam asked, I know you don't have a crystal ball, but you think there's going to be another 4-year cycle after the bull run? Yes, there is. And the reason why is because humans, right, will repeat the same stupid, shitty mistake, the same retard mistake over and over and over, okay? They'll get greedy. They'll buy at the wrong time. They'll sell at the wrong time. They do that over and over. They will not, like, we have students that did not take profits in 2014, did not take profits in 2017, did not take profits in 2022, did not take profits again in 2025, okay? It happens every fucking, right? We have students, we tell them we're buying in the first quarter of 2023, and they will not buy. They will wait until Bitcoin goes from 20,000 to 70,000, and they will buy at 70,000. That's just how the world works. That's how human psychology works. I'm not going to change it. You're not going to change it. That's why these cycles happen over and over and over. There will always be jealousy. There will always be greed. There will always be envy. There will always be emotional ups and downs, right, in humans. And as long as those emotions exist in humans, there will always be bull markets and there will always be bear markets. That's how the markets work, right? Areva internship asks, when making life-changing profits, how to protect it from sudden accident, which may cost lots of money. One of the things that you can do is that buy, insurance for your family, or you can reduce your cost of living to where it's manageable. Like when I first started making life-changing profits after I left the U.S., right? What I did was, even though I moved to Vietnam and Thailand out of the U.S., my living expenses in America at the time when I left the U.S. in America was around $4,000 or $5,000 a month. And when I left the U.S. and I went back to Vietnam, can I live on $4,000 a month? Yes, I can. Did I do it? No, because I'm not one of these dumbasses, right, that like to flex online and like to live outside my means. So what I did was I made sure that I lived within the same way that I lived when I was in Dallas, Texas, right? When I lived in Dallas, Texas, I was just an average American family living on $4,000 to $5,000 a month. Okay, that means that my family was able to eat 3 times a day. My family was able to eat what we want. We did not drive a luxury car. When I was in America, my family drove a Toyota minivan and a Toyota Camry. We're not living luxury. We're not living anything. We lived in a middle class home. And when I moved back to Vietnam, can I live a high class luxury lifestyle in Vietnam or Thailand with my $4,000 a month? No, I didn't. Why not? Because I'm not a fucking idiot. That's why. I'm not a fucking dumbass. Just because I have more money, I go spend it all. Okay? So, I was living in Vietnam. I did not buy a car, even though I owned a car in America. I had money to buy a car in Vietnam and Thailand. I did not buy it. I used the public transportation, right? And even when I became a millionaire, right, I was still using the public transportation. I was still using the metro in Bangkok. I was still using the Vietnamese version of Uber in Vietnam. Okay? I did not live a luxury lifestyle. Right? Matter of fact, Only time that people actually knew that I had money was when I started building this palace, okay? And the reason why I built this palace, right, is because I have 4 kids. I have 3 boys and 1 girl, and I want my boys and my kids to live like a traditional Vietnamese or a traditional Indian lifestyle. What does that mean? If you look in America, the fastest growing ethnic groups or the fastest growing race of people that become the wealthiest in America are the Indians. Next to them would be somebody like the Chinese or the Asians, okay? The reason why these Asians, like the Indians, right, they are so wealthy and become wealthy in America when they go there, right, is not because they eat chicken masala and garlic naan, okay? It's not because of that. It's because their families live together. Their brothers and their whole family works together, and they live together. Because the ones that are traditional, you got some of these Indian families and these Asian families are woke, and they start, they getting westernized, and the brothers and everything split apart, and that is an extremely bad idea and bad strategy. Because now, if I have 4 kids and each kid got to buy a house, each kid got to buy a house. Each kid got to buy a car. Each kid got to buy a big screen TV. Big screen TV here. Big screen TV here. Big screen TV here. Big screen TV here. Every time they cook, they got to cook a separate dinner here, separate dinner here, separate dinner here. That's bullshit. That's not how a traditional Asian family lives in Asia or in India, okay? The way that the traditional families live is that everybody lives together, all the brothers and sisters, and they unite, and that's why they call them clans, right? In India or in China or in Vietnam or Thailand, when you go out into the world, 100 years ago, you never identified yourself first. You identified your clan first. So I would say that I come from the Zen family, and my father is this, and my grandfather is this, and I am, Thai that belongs to the Zen family. That's how families used to introduce themselves. And because the governments did not like family clans, because only the family clans can, rebel or fight against a government or another people. People will not die for their, They will not die for somebody else, but they will die for their clan, okay? So that's the reason why in Europe, in these Western countries, these westernized countries, they start to break up the family units. They don't want people to have a clan family. And I'm like, bullshit. That's what's been working in India for thousands of years. You can't come and tell me that the clan family structure is a bad idea. Because if it was a bad idea, why would the Indians do that? And why would the Chinese do that? And why would the Vietnamese people do that? And why would the Thai people do that? Why would the Japanese do that? Okay? These people are not going to be wrong for thousands of years. So the reason why I built this massive palace here for my family is because I want my boys, when they get married, right? I want all my grandkids living in this palace, in the Zen palace. I don't want them living in individual homes and the brothers are not united as one, okay? If you don't have a family of united brothers, right, it's really hard to maintain wealth and maintain your estate and maintain your assets for multiple generations. And that's why I'm investing into this palace for my family, so that my kids and my grandkids can live here, okay? Okay, K Texas says, he was a dumbass and missed taking profits the last 2 markets. Don't want to screw this one up. Not enough profits to be life-changing or retiring. Clues on how much to sell for ammo for next run. Okay, if you don't have enough to retire, then what I would do is that what I would normally do when I did not have enough, or when the students don't have enough, what I would do is I would sell like about 70-80%, and then put it into the ammo bucket and use that for the next cycle. Now, if you have a good paying job. Like if you have a 6-figure job, right, and you're holding Bitcoins, I would just hold it. I would not even sell it, because if I sell it, I gotta give 20% to 40% to the government. I just lost 20, 40% for nothing, and I didn't even use it. I would just hold on to the Bitcoins for the next cycle, and I would try to get those Bitcoins into a retirement account as soon as I could. That's what I would do. Okay. Okay. Okay, our student Daniel Cox in New Zealand, he asked, when the market signal gives us an indication to sell big portions, would you classify it as the first selling opportunity? Will this be the first wave or second, as there was a big up in March this year? I would consider this the first wave up. I would consider this the first wave up. And if the latest, right, I would consider this the second wave. Okay, this is definitely the first or second wave. I don't believe it's the third wave yet, but it's definitely at least the first wave, if not the second wave. Okay. A Rava internship, besides crypto, you're noticing trends around and find a way to invest in those trends. Is this treated as an opportunity trade like the method you teach in the course? Yes. You can look at the trends around the world and treat it as an opportunity trade, but right now, nothing beats crypto, guys. Nothing is going to beat crypto for the next 40, 50 years. I don't see, like, I'm 54 years old next month, and I don't see anything beating crypto in the rest of my life, you know? So I'm going to stick with crypto. Like, I don't invest into real estate. I don't give a shit about real estate. I don't give a shit about stocks. I don't give a shit about anything, okay? The only thing I give a shit about is crypto, right? If you guys see me investing into stocks or anything like that, if you guys see me investing into anything outside of crypto, it's only for two reasons. One, I like to keep my mind sharp, and I like to keep my trading and investing skills sharp. Or, like, I want to open up a coffee shop. I want to open up a Muscle Beach gym here in the beach city of Da Nang. Those are all lifestyle investments. That's just to improve my lifestyle so I can have a gym to work out. I have a rooftop gym here, right? Someday when it's done, you guys will see it. I have the biggest swimming pool for our family in central Vietnam. I don't know how true that is. That's what all the pool guys are telling me. They've never seen a swimming pool that big on the roof of someone's house. So it's like 25 meters long, and it's like almost 4 meters wide, okay? And it's almost 2 meters deep at the deep end. So they say that I have the biggest family swimming pool in central Vietnam, according to the swimming pool contractors, okay? And then the architect and the general contractor is telling me I have the biggest home or the biggest palace or the biggest house or the biggest villa, the biggest mega mansion in central Vietnam, okay? It's over 20,000 square feet. It's all made of concrete and steel rebar, okay? So I'm just sharing you what they tell me. I don't even know if it's true or not. I have no idea how to even go prove that to you guys, okay? I will say something. I don't see anybody else's house bigger than mine in central Vietnam. That's for damn sure, okay? Some of you guys might be asking why I'm building such a big palace. Like I said, it's for my sons and my grandsons and my grandkids to live here, okay? And I grew up in the great country of Texas, and in the great country of Texas, we have a motto. We have a motto in Texas: the bigger, the better, the more, the merrier. So you can take a man out of Texas, but you can't take the Texas out of him. So if I own the biggest palace in central Vietnam, if you grew up in Texas, that would not be surprising to you, okay? Zenflow Trading said in 2021, I lost everything and it was a tough time for my family. I worked hard, saved up, and followed Mr. Ty's method, invest in major coins now. I've doubled my profits. I sincerely thank him. Awesome job, bro. I'm happy for you. Stick with the plan. Okay? Don't try to. The worst mistake that you can do, guys, when trying to make life-changing profits is listen to someone that's never made it before, who's never done it before. Never listen to someone who has not done something. Okay? You want to build a palace? Listen to me. You want to make, life-changing profits? You can listen to me. But if you want to build a palace and you talk to someone that's never built a palace before, you don't know jack shit. Okay? Tung Chung asks, could you please let us know some signals to sell? Well, I'm giving you one of the signals right now. We teach over 10 signals in our course. If you have time, go get a copy of it and you can learn all of it. Okay? Brendan Thomas asks, when should we start to take profits? Right now, our team is working on taking 1 or 2% profits of our entire portfolio each week. Okay, if Litecoin hits $400+, good sign at the top of the cycle, you agree? No, that's not, there's no reason why $400 would be a good sign for the top. There's no correlation, right? Fat Cat Jackie, you like other cryptos besides BTC? We don't, on our team, we don't care about liking or not liking a crypto. The Tyfu index strategy that we teach, we focus on coins that give us the highest potential to make a consistent profit. Remember, guys, if our system cannot help us make consistent profits, it would be really hard for us to give up our college degrees, give up our high-paying jobs or good-paying jobs to quit that and just go focus on crypto full-time. That is a really tough decision to make, guys. Like, the guys on my team, I'm the only high school dropout and does not have a degree on my team. I'm the only dumbass on my team, okay? Everybody else on my team is a smart-ass son of a gun, okay? They all have, education degrees and formal education. I'm the only one that doesn't, okay? So, the guys on my team, they're working at jobs that pay them a good income, like at Dell Computers, at a bunch of different companies that make a good income, okay? Our team cannot leave those good income jobs to go focus on crypto full time if our Tyfu investing system cannot make a consistent profit in each market cycle. You guys understand? We cannot afford to do that. Even I cannot afford to do that, right? I remember when I did not make a lot of money when I was in the U.S. Even though I grew up 40 years in the U.S., even though I learned how to trade and invest on Wall Street in the U.S., even though I had a good job, a decent job in the U.S., I did not make a lot of money in the U.S. Even though I started the first crypto trading and investing channel on the internet, I actually did not make a lot of money when I lived in the U.S. The majority of my money was made when I came back to Vietnam. The majority of my financial education, my knowledge, my wealth mindset, all of that was made in the U.S., was developed in the U.S., was learned in the U.S. But the actual profits that I made did not happen until I left the U.S. Okay? I learned all the knowledge, I gained all the experience from making all these small mistakes, right? Did I make a ton of mistakes in crypto? Yes, I did. Did I lose a shitload of money when I was in the U.S.? Yes, I did. And that's how I learned. But I actually did not make the life-changing profits until I actually left the U.S. And the reason why is because I did not have the opportunity to do that until I left the U.S. I remember when I left the U.S., my immigration lawyer was helping me leave the U.S. and pack up my family and everything and leave the U.S. And I remember he was like extremely concerned. Like he was like, hey man, like you're leaving the U.S. Are you sure? Is this a good idea? And at that time I had to leave because my mom was very sick, and she wanted to see me for one last time before she passed away. And because I lived in the U.S. illegally, right? When I came to the U.S., I came legally to the U.S., but I lived in the U.S. illegally. Okay, I was not a legal resident of the U.S. I came to the U.S. as a refugee, and I was supposed to go get my green card and everything. I never did because I was too poor. My family is dumb as shit. Like, like you always hear about these Asian families that are smart and shit. Unfortunately, I grew up and my family was dumb as shit. I can say that because I don't see anybody else in my family doing anything that's even worthwhile to even mention. Like, there's nobody in my family that came to the U.S. that I know of that did anything that was worthwhile or worth a fuck. They're all a bunch of fucking losers. They're all a bunch of failures. They're all broke as shit, poor as shit, dumb as shit, and uneducated as shit. And the only thing that they have that is big is their fucking egos. Everyone that in my family that moved to the U.S., they have the biggest fucking egos. They think they know everything. They think they're smart as shit. And they think they are fucking smart as shit. And they are dumb as shit. Like, I'm a fucking dumbass. And I can tell you, I got some dumbass family members. And I swear to God, they think they are so fucking smart. And they're right about every goddamn thing. And they are broke as shit. They are dumb as shit. Okay? Now, my immigration lawyer was worried to death. I have one of the best immigration lawyers in Dallas. You guys ever need an immigration lawyer, just text me privately and I'll introduce you to him, And he was concerned, man, like, hey man, you going back to Vietnam, you're gonna be fucked. He goes, you're going to an undeveloped country. Are you sure about this? Because since I lived in the US illegally and I went to prison for drugs and for guns and drugs in the U.S. When I come out, I cannot get a green card. I cannot get a citizenship. And I had and Trump was trying to deport everybody at that time. And all the people that were illegals in America, which is me, they would deport them. And then anybody who had an order of deportation, like me, they would deport them, right? And I told my immigration lawyer, I said, man, I am not trying to go back to immigration detention or prison or jail or nothing, right? I ain't trying to break the law for shit, right? I am not trying to let Leroy and Bubba and Tyrone trying to go up in my ass, right? I'm too old to fight them off anymore. If they try to, they might succeed this time, all right? So I ain't trying to do that. And he goes, hey man, if you leave the U.S., you ain't never coming back because the Homeland Security ain't letting you come back and shit. And I said, man, I ain't got a choice. My mom is begging me, right? And my mom was sick and my family is poor as shit. So I said, fuck it, And he goes, are you going to have a job or you know what to do? And at that time when I left the U.S., the only thing I had was I had the knowledge of how to trade and invest. Now, have I made my money yet? Right? No, not enough to where that I was, that I felt like that I was done, right? And so I knew and I was confident that our system was consistent. It was consistent, right? It showed that we was able to make a profit in 2017 and it made a profit in 2014, but we fucked up. We didn't take profits. And then we made a profit in 2017 and we took some small profits, not enough, but we took some small, and it was enough for our team to be convinced that we had a consistent system. And that's why when my immigration lawyer said, hey man, are you sure about leaving the U.S.? Because you ain't coming back, man. And you don't have a job. What the hell are you going to do to make money? Because he didn't want to be responsible for helping me leave the U.S. and then and be responsible that I go to Vietnam and be broke as shit and then call him up and beg him to come back to the U.S. or something. And I said, nah, man, I'm confident that, I can do it because, at that time, I told him that I was confident, but I don't think he understood what I was talking about. But I was confident in our system, right? I was not confident, in me or my team members, anything like that, but I was confident that we had made enough mistakes and we fixed it and we came with the solutions that we would have a consistently profitable system. And that's what I relied on when I left, right? And I had enough money saved up to where I said, you know what? I'm gonna cut my expenses from like $4,000 a month. I'm gonna cut it down to like $1,000 and $1,500 a month. So if I have like I had a year's worth of living expenses, like 4,000 times 12 months, that's like 48. Let's say round up to $50,000. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna live within my means. I'm not gonna live outside my means, and I'm not gonna try to be flashy. I'm not gonna try to live a fake ass life or something. I'm gonna live and make sure that my wife and kids have enough to eat, but I'm not gonna live outside of what I have. And when I came back to Vietnam, man, I lived like the same lifestyle that I live in America, and it was costing me like around $1,500 to $2,000 a month, right? I was paying for about like $1,000 or $1,200 a month, but it was somewhere around $1,500 to $2,000 a month, and I stuck with that. I didn't live outside of that. I didn't do nothing crazy. We didn't go on vacations or nothing, and I just focused on making sure to make my trading system and my investing system and the Tyfu investing system more efficient, so it's more consistent. And then in 2022 is when I actually made the big life-changing profits, right, that allowed me to build this palace here, okay? And in 2024 and 2025, obviously I'm gonna do it again and do the same thing. So in the beginning, it's gonna be tough, guys. When you guys take the profits, make sure that you don't live outside your means. Don't go spend on lavish things. I swear to God, the only thing, when I made the life-changing profits in 2017, the only thing that I spent money on was a set of, like a 7-piece combo set of DeWalt cordless tools, okay? That was it. That was the only thing I spent my money on, and everything else I saved up, because when I left America, I want to make sure that I was able to take care of my family, right? Look at this. You guys see me broadcast, and everybody wonders why I'm here on a multi-million-dollar palace construction site. I'm wearing the same t-shirts, the same shoes, right? Over and over and over. Like when I go to the banks, I go to the contractors, I talk to 20 contractors, 20 motherfucking general contractors and construction companies to build my palace. And 18 of them thought I was full of shit because I walked in there with a t-shirt and some tennis, some shorts and flip-flops, and they thought I was full of shit because when I showed them the picture, the concept of the palace that I wanted to build, they thought, you're a fucking idiot. Get the fuck out of our office. I mean, obviously they didn't say it with their mouth, but you can see by their attitude, they're like, let me get the hell out of here. I didn't even want to talk to us. There was one construction company, the security guard and the front desk didn't even let me come into the office. When I went there, and the security guard goes, what the hell you coming here for? Like, what are you here for? And I said, I'm here to build a house. Right? And they're like, no, we don't build houses for you. I said, that's weird, because it says, you know, what is the name of the company? I forget the name of the construction. In Vietnamese, it's called Tăng Minh Nhang, right? They said, construction company. I said, aren't you guys a construction company? I see you guys building hotels and shit all over the goddamn place. And they're like, nah, we don't build houses here. Go away. I just ignored the security guard, and I walked into the lobby, and the front desk told me, you know, what are you here for? I'm like, I need to build a house, you know? And they're like, you have an appointment? I said, no. I said, well, why are you coming here? I said, because the outside of your tower says it's a construction company, right? You guys build homes, you guys build hotels and shit, right? And they're like, yeah, but we're not going to build your house. I was like, man, fuck you guys. So I walked out of there, right? So I found like 5 contractors, and out of those 5 contractors, I submitted the blueprints to them. I guess they thought I was full of shit or something, because 3 of them didn't even fucking bid on the goddamn blueprints, right? And 2 of them gave me a bid, and I chose one of them. So now they're building it right here, right? So live within your means, guys. Most of this lifestyle you see online, it's all fake. Fake as shit. Like I go around Vietnam, and I got blueprints in my hand, a stack of blueprints this thick to build my palace, and I'm shopping for a goddamn contractor and builders, right? The air conditioning system in my palace cost $200,000 fucking dollars. And I'm walking around in a goddamn taxi, driving around in a taxi, looking for an air conditioning contractor to build my $200,000 air conditioning system. right? I'm telling you guys to make the life-changing profits, guys. I highly recommend, I highly encourage you, I highly recommend that you focus on your family. Don't try to impress other people. When you're down and out, I remember when I was laying in the hospital bed, I had 3 heart attacks after I came out of prison. I remember, right, it hurts. It really fucking hurts. When I went to prison when I was 18. When I was in prison, everybody left me for dead. I came out at 33, 34 years old. Nobody looked at me. When I talked to girls, no one fucking paid attention. And I remember in less than a fucking year after I came out of prison, I was laying there in the fucking emergency room. And I was dying from a fucking heart attack. And I was there, man, all by myself. In the fucking hospital bed. And I thought, man, I grew up in a fucking refugee camp. I was poor as shit. And I spent all my life in prison. And I come out, I'm gonna just fucking die. You know, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Is that it? Am I just gonna fucking die here in the fucking hospital? And I went in there, and this army doctor, I'll never forget him. His name was Dr. Stuart Demore. And he's an army heart surgeon. They put 4 stents in my heart. And I was like, fuck, man. And I thought I was gonna die, bro. You know? And I was just laying in the hospital bed. I was thinking, like, this is it. I was born to this earth to go and fucking prison for drugs I didn't have and fucking just die when I come out. I was like, fuck this shit, man. I ain't gonna fucking die here. And I just fought, man, to the end. And I remember going, when I got out, I remember the fucking heart medication was like $800 a month. And I was like, where the fuck am I gonna get the money for this shit? You know? I had to go to Dr. Damore's office and ask him, man, for the fucking heart medication. I was like, fuck, man. Here I am at the fucking doctor's office begging for fucking heart medication. You know? It was fucked up, man. And that's why when I started this channel, you guys don't hear me fucking bullshitting around. I tell you how it is, man. Because I hate living that life, man. And then I got back on my feet, man. I started getting a job, get on my feet and shit. And then in 2012, I had that heart attack in 2007. And I thought, okay, I'm back. The doctor said I'm good. And then 2012, right, I was so, I was not doing so well. I got stressed out. And I had to change jobs and shit. And then, fuck, I got a fucking second heart attack. I just got my wife. I just had my first child. And then I have a fucking heart attack. And they just wiped me clean, man. I remember coming home. And I'm trying to take care of my wife that I just moved in with me. I just had a child. I never even fucking let her know how financially we were struggling. I was telling them, like, I never complained to my wife. I never let them fucking know how stressed out I was financially. I never fucking did, man. And then in 2013, I had my second child, my daughter, and I couldn't fucking believe it, man. I had a third fucking heart attack. And I was like, what the fuck, man? I was like, I can't fucking believe this shit. And dude, financially, I was wiped out, bro. I was fucking wiped out. And I was like, I can't fucking believe this shit. I just got a wife. I got 2 kids, and now I'm wiped out again, and I got a fucking heart attack again, right? My in-laws are nothing. I just bit my fucking tongue, and I said, fuck it, man. I'm going to get rich or fucking die trying, just like 50 Cent did, man. And that's why when I made my money, man, I don't give a fuck about impressing no motherfucker out there. Because when I was in that hospital 3 fucking times and almost died, man, there was not one motherfucker that was there with me in the goddamn hospital. There was not one family member. I don't give a fuck about nobody. The reason why was the times that I almost got raped in prison, the times I almost got fucking killed on the streets, the time that I had to fucking strap up and defend myself in prison, the times I had to fucking goddamn fight for my life in the hospital beds. There was not one motherfucker that was there, man. All these cocksuckers out here that's talking shit about me, I don't give a fuck about them. I don't give a fuck because you know what? At the end of the day, right, they're never there. The friends that are your friends, they'll be there as in. You see on my channel about a fucking goddamn stainless steel and gold Rolex from the friends that I have. Those are the motherfuckers that stuck by me. The one, like you said, like Mike Mers, the reason why I got him that fucking that gold Rolex watch, right, was because when I had nothing, man, I was so fucking stressed out. Him and his wife said, you just come into my house, I don't give a shit. And they let me come in and live. When I had less than, I remember at that time, I think I had like a couple $100, right? A couple $100 in my bank account. I know for sure I had less than $1,000, and I was so stressed out. My wife did not even know that I had less than $1,000 in my bank account. And I remember my boy Mike, he said, man, fuck that shit, man. He goes, just fucking come over and stay at my house, right? And when I would go to work, right, I flew to Atlanta. My house is in Dallas. I flew to Atlanta. I would go there, and I would tell my family, yeah, everything's okay on the outside and everything. And inside, man, mentally, man, dude, you guys have no idea how fucking stressed out I was, man, right? And that's why I look out for him. My buddy Eric, I remember when I got out of prison, the conditions of my release was that I was like, you got to have a job when you're out, right? And my cellie in prison, I've been in prison for 14 years. How the fuck do I get a fucking job outside, right? When I've been sitting in prison. So my friend in prison, this guy named Kat, right? That's why, my homeboy in prison, my cellie, he called up his friend who owned a pool hall out on the streets, and he said, hey man, I need you to sign this document from immigration and say and declare that you have a job waiting for Ty when he gets out. And so his friend signed it, and that's how immigration let me out of prison. Homeland Security let me out of prison. Department of Justice let me out of prison, right? Because that was the condition of my release. I had to have a job to get out. And so I got to Austin, and I showed up at the pool hall, and the guy tells me, hey man, your cellie, Kai, is my best friend. So he told me I had to sign this paperwork so that you can get a job and promise that you have a job when you get out. And I'm telling you right now, I ain't got no fucking job for you, right? And I said, for real? And he goes, yeah. He goes, I don't have a fucking job for you. You need to get your ass out there and go find your own fucking job. All right? Because I ain't got a job for you. And I go, why the fuck did you sign the goddamn documents for them? And he goes, because Kai's my friend. He told me to sign it. I had no choice. I had to sign it for you. Okay? And I said, well, I appreciate it. He goes, he said you're a resourceful dude, and you're a hustler, and you're a go-getter, and you're not a lazy bum. So you got 30 days. Get your ass out there and go find you a fucking job, because I ain't got one for you. And I shook his hand. I said, I appreciate you signing these, documents for me so I can get released from prison. I hold nothing against you. I appreciate it a lot. I don't hold anything against Kai. You did what you had to do. I appreciate it. And I went out there and got a job. And I found a security. I remember this gang member, this Samoan gang member. He always told me, he goes, hey man, if you ever come to California, all you gotta do is give me a call. I guarantee you, you will get a job. And I said, how's that? And he goes, all my friends own clubs. I can get you a bouncing job. Because when I came out of prison, I weighed like 210 pounds of muscle. So he goes, I can get you a bouncing job just like that, even while I'm sitting in prison. If you come to California, to LA, I will get you a job. And so I remember him saying that, and that's how I went down to the club district in Austin, to where they have the club district on 6th Street, and I went and looked for a bouncing job. Okay? And that's how I became a bouncer. And I couldn't believe, I worked at this club called Bourbon Streets, and the manager said, hey man, you gotta check everyone's ID to make sure they're 21 years old before they come into the club. And I checked everyone. There was this dumbass black chick, this skinny ass black chick. She looked like she was on crack or something. She tried to come into the club. I blocked the doorway. I put my arm out and I blocked the doorway. I said, you can't come in. You gotta show me your ID to make sure you're 21 years old. And she tried to charge in. I put my arm against the doorway to block her, and so she can't come in. And she charged in again. And she ran in there, and I grabbed her, and I put her out. And I said, you cannot come to the club unless you're 21. Show me your ID. And she goes, I don't need to show you a fucking ID. I come in here all the time. I said, dude, please show me your ID. Okay? I cannot let you in here, right? Because I didn't want to get fired and go back to prison, right? Because I had to have a job. And I couldn't fucking believe it, man. The stupid ass bitch finally showed me her ID. And I'm thinking, like, why did this girl stay here for half an hour trying to charge into the club and not show me her ID the whole time she had it in her pocket? She runs in there, she tells the manager that I was assaulting her at the front gate, at the front door of the club. Now, we know this is not true because the other bouncer was standing right there in the next door, this Mexican guy, and the security camera is right above us. And every time she tried to come in, I would hold my arm out and block the door. Okay? And I would pull her back out. The manager came out and fired me on the spot because I did not let that stupid ass black girl in because she was his banker. She worked at Chase Bank, and that's where the club deposits all their money. And she worked there at the bank, and she came in there to see him. And she thought because she was working at the bank, and that was her client, and that she just charged into the club, right? All she had to do was just show me her ID, that she was 21, and I would let her in. The bitch did not fucking show me her ID. Went in there and told the guy, lied to the manager that I was assaulting her at the front door. It is very easy to prove it. All he had to do was turn on the camera, and he would see that I was blocking her at the door. I never attacked her. I never punched her. I never slapped her. I never did anything. I got fired. I just got out of prison. I just got the job for a week, and I got fired. And I was so fucking stressed out, bro. Because if I didn't have a job, I had to go back to prison. Okay? And I remember I come home to my stepmom and my little sister's apartment that I was living at in Austin, and I had to put on my work clothes like I was going to work, and I already got fired. And when they said, hey, good luck, good day at work and shit, I said, yeah, man, I'm going to work. And what I was doing is I was going down to the club district to look for a new bouncing job, and that's when I ran into my buddy Eric, okay? And he was the one, and out of nowhere, right, I met him through another guy, and he didn't even know who the hell I was. And I said, dude, I cannot explain to you. You know, I didn't want to tell him just came out of prison a week ago, right? I said, hey, man, I desperately need a job, bro, right? I am hurting. And if you can help me get a job, man, I will be forever in your debt. I will be so grateful, man. And I remember my buddy Eric, he said, I don't know who, and I remember he looked at me like, who the fuck is this guy, man? Like, out of nowhere, I'm stopping him on the streets and asking him for a job, right? And he said, I'll talk to my manager. So he came down and he talked to his manager, and I don't know what the fuck he told the manager. Later on, right, he just told the manager, he goes, hey man, you need to hire this dude Ty. And the manager asked him, do you even know him? And he goes, I just need you to hire him, man. I've never asked you for any favors before. This is the first time I ever asked you for a favor since working at the club. I need you to hire this guy Ty. And later on, I asked Eric, later on when we became really tight friends, I said, what the fuck did you tell him or you ask him? He goes, I just told him to do it. And I said, but you didn't even know me. He goes, dude, I just sensed something was really hurting. I said, yeah, I was, bro, because I didn't want to go back to prison. And so me and him have been best friends ever since. And that's why I ended up later on, right, getting him a Rolex just as a gift for him helping me out when I got out of prison, right? And so I'm telling you guys this because you guys are going to take profits for the first time in this cycle. It's the first time that you guys are going to take profits, okay? And I don't want you guys to fuck it up by spending it on Lambos and Ferraris and palaces and shit, okay? Take care of your wife, take care of your kids, take care of your family, and lock in your profits. If you want to go crazy, wait until the next cycle. Wait until you know you have a shitload of money before you do any of that shit. Do not go out there and fuck it up, man, because you could end up in a hospital bed. You can end up in some place, and you're not going to have the money that you need to take care of yourself. You don't want to be going to no doctor's office and begging them for fucking medication, okay, like I did, okay? Okay, man. I don't see any more questions, guys. Thanks for following the channel. Make sure you lock in some profits, man. We're starting to take 1 or 2%. Don't be screwing around. Don't be listening to dumbasses online that don't know what the hell they're doing, right? We made a ton of mistakes already. I'm telling you guys so that you guys don't make the goddamn mistakes that we made, right? And I hope that you guys take advantage of this market, bull market, and take the profits that you need to take and change the life of your family, okay? Focus on them first. The people that you are trying to impress out there, they don't give a shit when you're in the hospital bed, okay? They don't give a shit when your ass is broke and you have a less than $100 in your bank account and you're trying to figure out how to fucking pay the bills. They don't give a shit, okay? So, take care, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Make sure you can follow me on Twitter at HeyTyZen. How the hell do you end this shit?